it. Nothing better than kicking it with Auntie Leah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Auntie Leah is in the house. Yeah, 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 yeah. We are kicking it with Auntie Leah. Yeah, let's get it, let's do it. Come on in. Come on in now. So Auntie Leah can do a thing. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Salute. Welcome back to Kicking It with Auntie Leah and the Truth Gang. We are so glad to have you here with us today. Can I get everybody to please hit the live and share the live? We're just going to wait on some more people to come in. We need you to help us get more people in here so we can discuss these cases. Salute, Maria. Thank you so much.
When the sirens came,
listen to the words. I'm tired.
on another family change. We march for the truth, but the pain remains. Different faces, same story, just a different name. We grew up here and freedom reigns. But freedom feels different when you're fighting for everything. Working 2 jobs, still can't pay the bills. While the wealthy get rich from the top of the hill.
More the Truth Gang to join us.
Turn on the news and what do we see? More division, more hatred, less unity. They tell us be patient, wait our turn. But how many generations gotta live and learn? We've been knocked down, pushed aside, told to be silent when our people cry. But there's a fire that they can't control. The strength is buried deep within our soul. My people, hold your head up high. Don't let this world convince you not to try. Struggle through the pain. We'll keep standing in the pouring rain. Hey, they can build walls, they can close doors, but they can't stop what we're fighting for. We are the voice, we are the light. And together we'll keep up this fight. Children growing up without a chance, caught in a system that won't advance. Schools underfunded, dreams put on hold, while promises fade and stories grow old. Mothers praying every night that the babies make it home alright. Fathers working till their hands are worn, trying to get their families a better morn. Still we rise when they expect us to fall. Still we answer when our people call. Still we love when they give us hate. Still we believe it's not too late.
And don't forget about kids.
They tell us history's in the past, but the scars of yesterday still last. Red lines drawn through neighborhoods, broken promises dressed up as good. We watch dreams get pushed aside, watch too many mothers cry, watch too many candles burn, while the world keeps taking turns. Yet our ancestors paved the way through darker nights and harder days. They carry faith when hope was thin, and that's the reason we're still here. So teach the children who they are, not what the doubters say they are. Kings and queens with purpose inside, born with dignity, born with pride. I see the pain, I see the tears. I see the battles fought for years.
All right, we about to start here shortly.
I see the names we can't forget. The family still demanding respect. I see the voices crying out, asking what justice is about. But I also see strength, I also see grace. I see survivors in every place. And no matter what they say, no matter what they do, we are somebody, our lives matter too.
All I'm gonna say is please don't forget to keep your head held high, and please continue to keep trying, and please continue to scream these children's name, because these kids that are being unalived on a daily basis can be any of our children. So thank you again to everybody that decided to stop by. We are going to watch Start off watching the Nancy Grace video this afternoon or evening or whatever you want to call it. She has a follow up that she's going to do, so we're going to start out with that. And then we're going to move on to some other things. We just want to make sure that we are going to continue to scream justice for Nolan Nolan Wells, Kendrick Johnson, Daniel Irvin, and Tyler Smith, and the list goes on and on and on. So while you guys are here waiting, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the live, what we're going to start off watching tonight. And we have to wait until she starts. So let's do a little roll call while we are waiting. And again, I'm going to ask you if you can please share the live. That'd be great. So we have a lot of people in the bushes that are choosing not to talk, which is fine. And in the comments, we do have Maria. Thank you so much for being here, Maria. And Ramanda. Thank you so much for being here, Ramanda. And we have KT Boscott, who has a comment that says, please people, Nolan's mother is destroying these children. She's not doing anything. Nolan's mother is asking a simple question. She's asking what happened to her child. No one, and I mean absolutely no one in their family, and not on my channel, has accused any of those children of unaliving Nolan. What we're asking is, what happened to Nolan? And we will continue to ask that question. And so while we're talking about that, let's talk about these lawsuits or threats of lawsuits that are claimed to be being filed against content creators or against anybody that dares to speak about this case. You know what? I don't care. Because God has not given me the spirit of fear. So therefore, I don't fear nobody's lawsuit. Okay? So please don't bring that here. I do not care. I do not care about no one other than those children and about those families receiving the answers that they deserve. Okay? All right, guys. So we're just going to wait on Nancy to get started, which the video will get started in less than 2 minutes. Again, I want to welcome everybody in, and I'm going to ask you to stay respectful in the comments. Because if you get disrespectful in the comments, that is the quickest and easiest way to get you thrown off my platform. Because my platform is like my home. Okay? We can agree to disagree on things, but stay respectful is what I ask of everyone here. You know what? That's because racism still exists. It is what it is. And the only people that don't realize that racism exists is people that want to turn their blind eyes to it. Well, do what you please. But on this channel, we're not going to turn our eyes to it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss it. But I'm going to ask you to remain respectful. Okay? All right. So she should be getting started soon. So let me turn the music down. I appreciate everybody here. And again, I'm just going to ask you to hit the like button and share the live. We don't have to be in the comments arguing. Thank you so much, Real Talk TV. Rest in peace, Nolan Wells. Amen. Hallelujah. Okay, Pam, if you think that she's a liar, why are you on my channel? Because you should know that this channel supports justice for Nolan Wells. So are you here just to be a bully in the comments? Because that's what doesn't make sense to me. If I don't like a channel, I scroll past the channel.
Bombshell tonight. Nolan Wells audio distress call. Is it real? Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
Everyone in the background is saying, "Is he dead? Nolan, wake the f- up."
Claiming they're sinking and calling for help. And yet in the background, are we really hearing all of this other activity?
Nobody has ever, none of the kids on this boat have ever admitted that anybody said that they thought Nolan was dead.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can you all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What'd
Hello?
you say? Hey,
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
it's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
All right. Well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. I don't
All
have
right.
the tag on
Unless you
here.
have a
It got ripped
membership
off.
number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at.
You are hearing the audio distress call from the boat. That is the boat on which Nolan Wells went to Horn Island. Now, there have been a lot of different accounts about whether he was on the boat when he came back from Horn Island, when he was supposed to come back from Horn Island. He never came back from Horn Island. And you can clearly hear on that version, which we obtained from the Mississippi Department of Marine Research. They released it. It's not something off TikTok or Insta. And that's what you hear. Let me hear 184 one more time, please.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can you all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What'd
Hello?
you say? Hey,
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
it's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter. What are we hearing?
Nancy, this is the audio call from the boat that Nolan Wells took out to Horn Island. And the boat is attempting to leave Horn Island because the boat is taking on water. What we are hearing is the call from the boat to the group they have. that handles towing and other-
Let me help you. Let me help you. Reminder, Dave Mack, we've only got 1 hour to cover a lot of territory. That is the sea tow call where the grandson of the boat owner thinks that they're taking on water. Joining me right now, special guest Brandon Tatum. He is a former police officer with Tucson PD, and he is a star of The Officer Tatum on YouTube. He has interviewed Nolan's friends. Now, we're about to bring on two experts, each one taking a different viewpoint on that call. But Officer Tatum, thank you for being with us tonight. No matter what you say, just know you're going to get hate mail. Doesn't matter what you say. If the angel Gabriel came down right now and spoke on this case, he would get hate mail. That said, what do you make of that audio, officer?
Well, Nancy, thank you so much for having me on. If you put the audio within context, it is an impossibility unless these people are prophesying that somehow they're saying Nolan's name or projecting that Nolan is somehow injured, hurt, or killed, because we have witnesses that have come out. When I interviewed Warren, a lot of those kids that I talked to already alluded to this way before the audio came out, that they were gone. And people had already saw Nolan after they had left. The young lady, Katie, that he was hanging out with, I saw a text message from her alluding to the fact that she never saw him get on that boat at all. We have video of the boat that we shared on our social media page, and it shows all the occupants on the boat, and Nolan was not there. And so if a person thinks that they've heard something on the audio, they have to compare it with context. Maybe they said, "Is it dead?" talking about items that could potentially have died or damaged on the boat, given the fact that they were sinking. So I think people need to put this in context and reevaluate what they're listening to on the video, because if you are going to make a staunch stance in the wrong direction, in my opinion, by saying they're obviously talking about Nolan, it is incredibly impossible. One more thing real quick, that when you look at where they were at when they made the phone call and their GPS coordinates, it literally put them on the island. And we know, and not on the physical island, but really close proximity to the island. And we know, because we have another video of Nolan being out there and also all the other boats surrounding him, that this would have had to happen very near to hundreds of people in hundreds of different boats. So somebody would have seen something if there was a dramatic commotion like this occurring on that boat.
I hear what you're saying, Officer Brandon Tatum. That last part that you said, that there were hundreds of people around and they would have seen what happened, that part, I disagree with that. John Mobley joining us, veteran trial lawyer out of South Carolina. John, take off your defense hat one moment and let's address that statement. Do I have to say Tupac? That just comes off the top of my head. Crimes happen all the time in a crowded area and nobody sees anything. Either they say they didn't see anything, or they really didn't see anything, because it all blends in, right? It all blends in. I've had a little boy thrown off the 3rd level of the Mall of America almost to his death. He did die and he was brought back to life. Nobody saw what happened. A guy threw him over. People were all over the mall. The food court was crowded. Nobody saw. I had like 2 witnesses. So I think part of it is, Mobley, you don't expect to see something. And so your mind is not interpreting, it's not intercepting what you're physically seeing. And again, we don't know what happened. We don't know why Nolan Wells has a red mark on the back of his occipital. We don't know. Was he hit? Did he fall? Then fall off a boat? It could have been any number of things. Some nefarious, some an accident, some negligent. My point is, just because there's a lot of people around, that does not guarantee you witnesses, Mobley. You know that better than anybody with all the cases you've tried.
Well, Nancy, I got to call it like I see it. I think there are 2 things I want to say to address that. The first part, I would agree with you that, yes, a lot of people can be around and they can notice something, that something can happen rather, and people not see it. However, I think the way that the human mind works, we would all agree, is we perceive things all the time, okay? And we may perceive something that at the time we perceive it, it is not deemed significant. However, in this case, I do believe that if someone did see something that they didn't pay particular attention to involving Nolan Wells, once all of this has come out, the way the mind works is it'll trigger what they saw before, because now it becomes significant, okay? So I do agree that people can perceive things and not pay attention to them, but when something significant happens later, sort of like being robbed, you're not paying attention to what everybody's wearing, but if when somebody robs you and later on you have to recall what that person was wearing, what they looked like, you can recall it because it's important at that point. But at the time they perceived it, it was not important. So that's what I want to make sure I discuss. And I do want to address, you talk about the red mark on the back of his head. I mean, I think that is a red herring. That's something that everybody kind of latched onto because they're so desperate for any information that might be related to the cause of his death. But even the own pathologist that conducted autopsy
Put
did not
him
dedicate
up. Mobley, are you a medical doctor? Yes, no.
I know how to examine forensic evidence based on the countless homicides that I've
Listening,
tried.
not hearing, yes, no. You're not a medical doctor.
I'm a juris doctor.
Are you a medical examiner?
I am not.
No. Put up the back diagram, the back of the head of Nolan Wells from the second autopsy right now. You know what? I give it to you, Mobley. You're a great trial lawyer. A medical examiner, you ain't. And I don't know why you're saying people are latching onto this, grabbing at straws. I'm looking right at it, man. Should I believe you or my lying eyes? I am looking at the second autopsy. And I have questioned multiple actual medical examiners, actual doctors that say that means something. Put him up again. In what world would the first medical examiner remove Nolan's throat if it did not have something probative about it, something that proves something? Did they remove his toe? No. His elbow? No. His eyeball? His nose? No. They took his throat. Do not tell me that a medical doctor, which you are not, took a throat out of this young man because it means nothing. And then, you know what? I can't even hear you. Straight out to Joe Scott Morgan joining us, professor of forensics, death investigator. That second doctor did not highlight that in red for nothing. That doctor is not grabbing at straws, as Mobley said. I don't know why he's saying that.
No, you're right. He has purpose. We have purpose in everything that we do in the medical legal world. And so when you see this highlighted area, it's unique in the way he has diagrammed it here. He even demonstrates it that it has almost like margins to it. And, you know, that's what has left a big question for us, because it's not like it's diffuse all over the place where you've got these kind of spotty alignments. He's got a margin. It almost looks like a rectangle, doesn't it? Well, when we begin to see things like that, we think about patterns. And that's some of the questions that have yet to be answered. But what he does say in his relative to the second examination is that he did a multi-layered dissection. Now, this area had not been dissected by the ME's office in Mississippi. So what he's doing is he's going layer by layer. We're talking about the skin. We're talking about the sub-Q fat. We're talking about the musculature that's under there. And yes, there is musculature under there. And what his conclusion is, Nancy, is that there's significant decomposition at this point in time. So he cannot make a determination about these markings one way or another. He needs more information. And admittedly, in this second autopsy, he says this is pending investigation, and that's key here.
Okay. Joe Scott Morgan.
Yes.
He, the first medical examiner, removed the throat.
Yes.
No other part of the body, except for the lungs, removed the throat and the lungs. We know why he took the lungs. I don't have to be a death investigator like yourself with 10,000 death investigations under my belt to know why I took the lungs, to see if no one drowned. But the fact that someone has a lungs full of water does not tell me how they got in the water. Did he fall? Was he hit? Was he held under? Was it an accident? Did you see that video? Pull it up if you can, control room, of all those ships, all those boats out there. If he was between one of those boats, lost his footing, went under, got the riptide, no one may have noticed. All right. No one may have noticed. Look at all that. And there were apparently 300 or so people out there. This is just a tiny microcosm. It's July the 4th. Everybody's at Horn Island having a good time. So it could be any number of ways he landed under the water. But my point is, that's why they took the lungs. Why? The throat.
Well, because the throat and the throat area, as you're referring to it as, it's actually the organs of the neck. We're talking about the larynx, the pharynx, our windpipe, essentially, and everything else that's connected therein. That's the conveyance to get into the lungs. So one of the things, what they're looking at here, Nancy, to put it very bluntly, is they're looking for any possibility that his breathing could have been compromised. Well, how is that compromised? Well, when you begin to think about, if you put your hand in the midline of your throat, right here, okay, you begin to think about the trachea, which is encompassed right here. Was it compromised in any way? Are there any focal areas of hemorrhage? Has it been crushed? You would go up into the neck. I suspect that the tongue was probably removed as well. You're going to look at the hyoid, which, did not accompany the body. But all of this has been retained. There's nothing abnormal about the state retaining the organs of the neck. This happens very, very frequently in cases like this because they want to be able to go back and examine it. And also for the future, they either want to get a consult on it or it has evidentiary probative value here moving forward with any kind of case in the future.
Hi guys, Nancy Grace here. If you are a homeowner, you've probably thought, should I call American Financing to refinance and pay off this debt? But you don't because of your low mortgage rate. That low rate, it's not saving you if you're drowning in credit card interest. People are calling American Financing, and American Financing is saving customers an average of $800. That's not in all, that's a month, by using their equity to pay off the credit card debt. Using their home equity to pay off credit card debt. No upfront fees. It costs you nothing to find out what you could be saving. And if you start today, you may be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. American Financing, 866-888-0344. Repeat, 866-888-0344. Or just go online to americanfinancing.net/Nancy. Disclaimer, NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, APR for rates in the 5S start at 6.327% for well-qualified borrowers. Call 866-888-0344 for details about credit costs and terms. Go to http://www.americanfinancing.net/Nancy. Average savings are based on borrowers who save over $199.99. And good luck.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can you all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What'd
Hello?
you say? Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
All right. Well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. I don't have the tag on
Unless
here.
you have a
It got ripped
membership
off.
number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at 2.
All right. And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's
How
on
many?
board.
All right. Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
No, we do not need that.
We're bringing in our forensics experts, but back to Brandon Tatum, former police officer, Tucson PD. He is the star of the Officer Tatum on YouTube. He has interviewed Nolan's friends. Okay, you're saying that I am looking at, and others are looking at this out of context. My mind is open. You may be right. And I believe, Officer Tatum, you are specifically referring to the words. Let's see the transcript of the audio as I read this, please. You're referring to alleged statements. Sure, he's dead. Is he dead? Nolan. OMG. Nolan, don't die. Then wake the F up. I thought he was on the check his chest. Now, to you, Officer Tatum, you believe that there is an innocent explanation. My mind is open. And that innocent explanation would be what?
Well, I think that if you are convinced without context that they are talking about Nolan, you're going to hear certain things and perceive it. I mean, the bilge pump is damaged. They could have been saying, don't die, or is it dead, referring to the bilge pump or the bilge pump. And they could have been talking about a battery. They could have been saying no, and people think they said Nolan. The only reason that I deviate from the transcript is because there are witnesses that have said they've seen Nolan after the boys had already left and after the call was already made. And also, I put my detective mind on, when I look at the reasoning, but why would they be calling and giving GPS coordinates and talking to this dispatch for 8 minutes if their best friend, whom I've spoke to these boys, they've shown me pictures, they were emotional about Nolan's death. I was there during the funeral, at least there with them when the funeral was going on, and they were devastated that they couldn't go to his funeral. I perceive that it doesn't make sense if they had killed their friend in a malicious way or he was dead, that they wouldn't just simply ask for help instead of trying to cover it up and calling for a tow and talking for 8 minutes. I mean, all of those things, plus the witnesses, it just doesn't add up. And I just wish people would be open-minded to saying, let me rewatch it and let me put it within context that Nolan cannot be on the boat because witnesses seen him afterwards. And let me re-listen to it and try to put it in perspective.
So you're saying witnesses saw him afterwards, after that call, or did you mean to say witnesses saw him elsewhere?
Yeah, no, witnesses saw him on the island after the call. After the boys had left around 4:30, witnesses have seen Nolan alive on the island after that. So, you know, that puts Nolan alive after that. And I think that people should be focused on, okay, now let's interview and talk to people and consider what did they see, because we're already past the point of Warren and Wyatt's boat and all of those things being involved.
Officer Tatum, I had so many trial judges from all the cases I tried in different courtrooms, but one particular judge, my favorite, Luther Alverson, he had a particular jury charge, and I've heard it so many times, I've memorized it. He said to the jury at the end of the case, after the closings, it is your duty to make all witnesses speak the truth and impugn perjury on no one. So, what I'm trying to do is reconcile what you're saying with what I'm hearing. I hope Nolan Wells died by accident, but I'm not shutting down our Crime Stories investigation until I know. Now, I want to address this sound. To Joe Scott Morgan, a professor of forensics, Jacksonville State University, author of Blood Beneath My Feet on Amazon. At Jacksonville State University, they have a world-class Crim Pro lab and setup. In fact, I've called on Morgan many times to help me recreate crimes in their labs. Star of Body Bags with Joe Scott Morgan. Joe Scott, you've been on so many death scenes, trying desperately to get to my experts, but I got to lay the foundation as I would do in court before I bring in a piece of evidence. Joe Scott, people do crazy things when somebody dies. They panic. They think it's their fault, whether it is or it isn't. They get rid of the body. They lie. They do all sorts of things. the cover up is very often worse than what the initial incident was. People panic. So the reaction of the friends to Nolan potentially having passed, that reaction doesn't mean that much to me because you don't know what somebody's going to do under those circumstances. So hearing them on the boat, I hear what Tatum is saying, and it's reasonable. But how people act in that scenario is not always reasonable.
No, it's not, particularly when they're faced with somebody that's in distress and they are under the influence of alcohol. And that's going to play a huge role in this from an investigative standpoint. And not to mention probably a group of people that don't have a lot of experience with alcohol. We're talking about a group of underage kids. We're not talking about upper end college kids here. We're talking about kids that are 18 years old. They've been getting hammered out there on this island, and that's a problem, Nancy.
Well, you're right. Okay. Not that Tatum in his own right is not an expert. He's a former police officer with Tucson. Joe Scott, an expert. Mobley, an expert. But now let's go to our digital experts. First, Todd Shipley joining us, digital cybercrime expert, former Detective Sergeant, Reno PD, 25 years in law enforcement, author of Surviving a Cyber Attack, Securing Social Media, Protecting Your Home, author of Investigating Internet Crimes, An Intro to Solving Crimes in Cyberspace. He says nothing he hears on this audio shows that the audio has been altered. Okay, Shipley, hit it.
Well, we have to look at the fact that the audio that we received is, again, one of those that was released by the press and is probably been stepped on multiple times. Just like we had last year with another famous
Did you say that was released by the press? Hold on, Tom. That was not released by the press.
It was
released to the press, but it was released by the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. That was not released by the media.
Yes, Nancy, but TMZ in every station that's released it has put a copy that they've edited up onto online. And so we have this expectation bias that's there. So the audio obviously is real. It's been released, and the agency that released it has said that it's a video or audio of the incident, but every version that we've seen has been stepped on multiple times. And so there's an expectation bias when you start putting up audio translations that you believe is there, and everybody then has this confirmation of that this is what's said. Now, we have to go back to the original audio from the government agency to get the information that we need to prove what's there in the audio, because multiple pieces released through press stations online don't always have the exact audio we want. There's already been speculation that some of the different audio, like TMZ's and the others, are a little bit edited, and they always are, because you put them on there for a specific purpose. And adding the edited versions of what you think are the audio does not necessarily mean that that's what it is. We can look at the audio and find out what's there, but we've got to look at the original version.
Hi, guys. American homeowners. The FBI has been warning about a type of real estate fraud called title theft, and your equity is the target. With just a forged signature, your ownership can be transferred out of your name, and without protection in place, you're left with an emotional and financial nightmare. That is why we partner with Home Title Lock, so you can find out today if you're already a victim and protect yourself. Use promo code Nancy at HometitleLock.com to get a free title history report, plus a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring, urgent alerts, and if you're a victim of fraud, they'll spend up to $1 million to fix it. Don't be a victim. Protect your home equity today. That's HometitleLock.com, promo code Nancy, or just use the link below. And good luck. Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter, was the version that we are playing tonight altered in any way by the Crime Stories staff?
No. What we did, Nancy, is we used an old school technique to bring out the audio in the background. You know, you have AI enhancements now that are, you just cannot trust the AI because it inserts its own thoughts into it, you know. But when you do, when you go old school on this, you isolate and filter. You use an EQ, equalization, to filter, to cut out the low rumble below 80 hertz. You cut out the high hiss above 8 hertz. This gives you the chance to hear that background a little more clearly. Then you boost the mid-range frequency. That's between 300 hertz and 3400 hertz. That matches the mid-range of human speech. Then you apply a simple high-pass filter that removes the constant deep humming or any other extraneous noises that are constant. And this does not alter the content. It merely enhances the content. So when you ask, did we edit or alter? No. We merely enhanced it using basic tools that are used in every production department around the world.
This is like when you're playing music, you turn up the bass or turn down the bass. Or Dave Mack, I believe the correct answer would be HELLNO, because if Tatum is right, I want to hear it. Okay, joining us now, in addition to Brandon Tatum, Joe Scott Morgan, John Mobley, now with us, Robert Freed, joining us out of Long Island, certified forensics analyst, EVP of forensics, and chief investigative officer at Page One Inc., author of 5 books, including Forensics Data Collections 2.0, and a book series, and his website is forensicsbyfreed.com, F-R-I-E-D, Freed. Okay, you say there are a lot of red flags. What are they?
Absolutely. Nancy, what I look at evidence is it possible to authenticate the evidence, the information that's being provided? Think about when you download software from a website. Many websites give you a value next to that file because they want you to know that what you're downloading can be kind of authenticated or validated. When we're receiving audio like this from the source, it would be good and proper if people are going to start looking at this and doing examinations to actually apply some kind of hash value or some kind of way to uniquely identify this particular file as an original so people can validate what they're looking at. Number 2, I would also want to look at, what tools people have used, if anything, to basically either analyze or enhance. Now, anybody can use any tools out there, but are they using a tool that's forensically sound, that's defensible, that passes the Fry standard in terms of the methodology?
Okay, you got to speak English to me, man. Are you saying that what Dave Mack's team did is acceptable?
So my whole thing is no documentation, no evidence. What did Dave Mack's team specifically do? Did they write down those steps that anybody can reproduce what they did? And if we can reproduce it,
yes, they did,
in a process and share that, then that's great. I'm seeing a lot of versions of these videos online with redactions, with phone numbers being withheld.
Put him up,
with
please. Put him up. What videos? Because I'm specifically referring to the audio. I've seen all those videos. They're AI. They're not real. I've seen a video of a young man face down on the beach being attacked by a horde of people. That's not Nolan. That's from a different date. I'm speaking specifically about the audio that Tatum is referring to.
Yes. So with that, one of the specific aspects of that is authenticating again where it was received. Is there a digital fingerprint associated with that particular audio? What tools were used, and what specific enhancements were done where to bring out that specific those specific segments that were enhanced.
Okay, so what I'm hearing from you, Robert Freed, and understand, I'm not disagreeing with you. But my question is, what are the red flags that concern you about this audio? Now, Tatum says the audio's fine. It's just they're not talking about Nolan. They're talking about the bilge pump or the battery or the engine. And you're taking it, some people are taking it in the wrong context. I'm not taking it in any context. I'm trying to find out, what am I hearing? So that's Tatum's take. Okay. Shipley says, I think it's legit. You're saying it may not be legit because of red flags. The fact that it is or not authenticated, how it's been enhanced, that's a concern. What do you see as a problem? One thing I noticed you said earlier before tonight is that on the TMZ version, there's an additional 20 seconds. Now, I've got a problem with that. Hold on. Mobley, I'd have a problem with that if somebody gave me, let's just say, a bank robbery video, and then I find out there's 20, 30 seconds missing. Oh, no. You have to have it all. And the last thing I want is somebody adding in video. So that's a red flag to me. That's one of Freed's observations.
And so, this is what I think. I think that, both of these gentlemen make excellent points, but they're missing the link to tie it all together. And that's what's important.
And let me guess, you, John Mobley, are the only one that knows the missing link. Okay, I got to hear this. Go ahead.
Well, what you need to do when you have that audio is, irrespective of the method that was used to enhance it, because just because it's enhanced, I don't see it something that's being used in the courtroom as much as the newsroom. But you want to take that audio and then you go back to the witnesses, okay? And you want to make sure you interview them separately, not together, because you don't want them to somehow commingle with their stories, but ask them separately. Play the audio for the witnesses that were on the boat, play it for them separately, individually, and ask them to corroborate what they're saying. Okay, and what's going to happen?
Tatum said he did that. Yeah, you're right, Mobley. With that, I agree. Back to you, Robert Freed. Given what Tatum, Shipley, and Mobley are saying, the red flags. Let's go with that TMC version. What about that? Is that a concern?
Yeah, I mean, I heard hold music when that started, and there's a lot of commotion going on in the background. It's really difficult to actually say, what people are actually saying in those particular versions. Yes, you do need to apply filters. You do need to apply different ways to focus in on it. But my whole thing with the different audios that are out there are that people are doing enhancements. They're posting this. They're doing amateur methodologies, and they're putting it out there saying, this is what you need to hear. Take a look. They're putting the words out there before people are even listening to the video. So it's automatically setting the stage for everybody to start paying attention to things a little bit more. But again, if you have to go back to looking at this from the source, that's the best bet, because that's going to allow you to look at this unfiltered. And that's probably what law enforcement has. There could be snippets that are missing in those specific moments that are redacted, for example, that may hold more clues that we're not hearing. We don't know exactly what's said in those moments that we don't have full access to.
Okay, that is an interesting point. That could be very probative. Of course, enhancements are used in court all the time, so a jury can hear what's being said. There's nothing wrong with that. But as you say, Freed, you have to authenticate and explain what you did, like we just had Dave Mack explain. And yes, it was all written down, FYI. But
excellent.
You stated that on an earlier occasion, much of this tape, this audio was redacted. How do you know anything was redacted, or are you guessing?
Well, the phone numbers, you can hear the cuts in the phone numbers where they say, what's your phone number? What's your account number? And it's basically blank. It's not anything. It's silent. So right there, we're missing the account number, the private information, but we're also missing what else is going on in the background. Within a couple of seconds, people can say something that would be really important. We're not getting that full picture.
Let's hear it one more time. You be the judge.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What'd
Hello?
you say? Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
All right. Well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. I don't have the tag on
Unless you have a membership number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at 2.
All right. And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's
How
on
many?
board.
All right. Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
No, we do not need that.
Is it real? Is it altered? Is it probative? Does it prove anything? Is it a bombshell? If you know or think you know anything about the death of this young star athlete, Nolan Wells, please dial 228-769-3063. It doesn't matter what the information is, as long as it's the truth. There is a $125,000 reward. We remember American hero, Lieutenant Eric Lloyd, Vegas Metro
Shout out
PD.
to Nancy Grace.
passed
Shout
away.
out to Nancy Grace. She is on the case. We really appreciate her updates. We appreciate her investigative skills. We appreciate everything that she is digging into. And shout out to everybody that's in the comments. I clearly heard Nolan, don't die. I clearly heard Nolan's name. I clearly heard that. And now Ben Trump has announced today that he has a copy of the official audio. So we're going to allow his investigators, his forensic audio enhancers, or whatever that you call them, work on the video that they have. And we will anticipate an update soon. Shout out to everybody in the comments again. I asked everybody here if you can please hit the like button, share the live. We still have some more clips to watch and some more things to discuss. We watched the press conference earlier. We are praying for the other families in addition to the Wansleys. Daniel Irving, we will continue to say his name. Tyler Smith, we will continue to say his name as well. The Wansleys did give an interview today, and we're going to watch. It's only a 5-minute clip. So let's find that. It was on News Nation with Kumo. So let's go ahead and watch that real quick and see what they had to say. I do know that the dad said that he does not know Trust Station, whatever you call his name. So let's get into that.
Now, it's been nearly a month since the body of a Black Mississippi teen, Nolan Wells, was found off the shore of Horn Island. Local authorities were quick to say they had no proof of foul play. But Nolan's parents felt the black teen's mysterious death wasn't getting the full investigation it deserved. In the last few weeks, the case has dominated social media, dueling accusations of racism. Here's what one of the young men with Nolan that day had to say about race playing a part in this case.
His mom got on TV, as everybody has seen, and said that she didn't know me. And man, that can't be farthest from the truth. Me and her son went on trips together. We went to Florida for spring break together. You don't know me? I'm in all these homecoming and prom photos as our whole friend group. Me and Nolan are standing next to each other. You don't know me. Him being the only black person, minority, any of that measure is insane. Our friend group is diverse from the max. Like, we have a mixed guy. I mean, we had Nolan in our friend group. There's an Asian a part of our friend group. There's a Latino that they're trying to perceive as white. He's truly authentic Mexican. His parents are from Mexico.
Nolan's parents, Christine and Elmore Wansley, join me now with counsel, Ben Crump. Thank you for joining us. I'm very sorry it's under these circumstances, but the job here is to give you a platform to keep people aware of your concerns. And Christine, I'll start with you. At this point, what is your biggest question about what's happening with this investigation?
It is really the same question that started it all, which is what happened to Nolan. That is the only question that we want answered. We just want to know what happened to our son. I know I personally, through my social media, also Attorney Ben and his team through their social media, that's been the big focus, just trying to make sure that everyone understands that at the end of the day, we would want what any parent would want, which is answers to find out what happened.
Do you believe, or do you have any reason to believe, that this investigation is doing exactly what you want it to do?
Sure. Well, we know at the beginning they started out saying there was no foul play even before there was any investigation, Chris. So that was a concern to them at day one.
That was the trigger for why we felt we had to go this route, because it wasn't even hours after they had found his body where I'm watching on the news that the sheriff is saying likely an accidental drowning. We do not feel there's any foul play, but yet stories are not lining up. And so from there, that's why we're here now.
Elmore, again, I really don't know how you guys are holding it together and being able to stay focused. But I'm here for it as long as there is the need. When you look at this situation, what is your darkest concern that you just want to make sure isn't true?
I've already lived my darkest concern. We just want the truth. We just want someone to be brave enough to stand up and give us the truth. We can't grieve the way we need to because we're being disrespected. We're being called all kind of racist, bad parents. We were not raised like that, and we did not raise our children like that. So we just want the truth. Any parent would want that. Any father would want that.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download.
All right, so that's that. It's just very painful to see this family suffering the way that they are suffering, and to see people troll them, accuse them, attack them after they have experienced one of the worst things that can ever happen to parents is diabolical. Let's read some comments real quick. as long as the comments are respectful. And then we'll go to another clip that I wanted to show you, because there is some other breaking news. It looks like Warren's dad has now stepped up to offer a $50,000 reward, along with some lawsuits for defamations have been filed. Mr. A says, why is this case more important than Aiken Liverpool? Not sure who that is. Kumos did say he was here for it, so shout out to Kumo. Pink says they were friends, they were out, they were effed up. Can I ask you guys to please spell your curse words wrong in the chat? Cursing in the chat slows the algorithm down. I will have to ban you if you continue to put these type of words in the chat. Okay, let's stay respectful. ZP says focus on better things. Well, you know what? I think that this is a very, very good topic to focus on when it comes to injustices served to our children. We just want equality. We want transparency. And we want justice. All right? Reggie says, at the end of the day, someone, if on the recording, is crying, begging to God for Nolan not to die. There's no lynching. I definitely heard Nolan, don't die. I will put my life savings on that. So I am just waiting on Ben Crump's and his team analysis of that video, because that is what we need. All right, guys. So let's get into another clip that I found today. I'm not sure if it was today that I found it, but it is another clip. Just give me a moment. I got to find it. Thank you for your patience, by the way. And I'm Auntie Leah, just in case you did not know who I was. That's not it. Okay. It's TMZ. I don't like TMZ. TMZ can be bought and paid for. We all know that. But they have this news clip, so let's just get into it.
Well, there's a new kind of outrage over the Nolan Wells case now, and it involves one of Nolan's friends who says he has had it up to here with all of the online rumors that he is somehow responsible for Nolan's death. The young man's name is Bart Edmiston, and Bart has been, people have been sort of theorizing online and even just flat out accusing him, saying that he was jealous of Nolan because of the girl that Nolan was with on the 4th of July, Katie McCormack, and they felt like Bart had a relationship with her. So Bart's hired an attorney, and the attorney already came out and said, that's not true. He didn't have a relationship with Katie. The photo you think is Katie is not Katie, done all that. But they're, in particular now, they're going after one OnlyFans model / influencer who has voiced her theory about Bart being involved. Her name is Kimberly, and she is the recipient of a cease and desist letter from Bart's attorney. I don't know if Kimberly is all that scared of this lawsuit, based on what she, after she got that cease and desist, this was her response.
You want to sue me? Let me tell you how it's going to go. I am poor. I have nothing. I don't own anything. You can't put a lien on property. I have nothing. It's going to cost you so much money. I got free lawyers. You know how many lawyers have been hitting me up, like begging to take the case because they know the publicity. Worst case scenario, you sue me, you win. Let's say you win. What you going to do? You can't get blood from a rock, dog. What are you going to do? Okay, I'll claim bankruptcy. Maybe I claim bankruptcy, like 4 or 5 times, and I could be president one day. Okay. That's how it's going to work. So do what you got to do.
In a way, that's called checkmate.
But sometimes it's not about money. Like in this case, they just want to show that they're taking this very seriously. They are going to threaten people, potentially go after people if you start, slinging around lies about them. I mean, this theory online that this kid was somehow concocted Nolan's death as revenge because he was secretly dating this other girl. I mean, now we're just getting into like crazy conspiracy theories at this point. And I feel like that case has been filled with those.
Well, and Bart actually took it a step further beyond that. He said, not only did I not have anything to do with Nolan's death, but I have actually told police the 20 people I saw that day out there, gave them names, and he said, I'm cooperating fully with this investigation, and he wants to know who killed Nolan.
So you guys heard that, right? So Bart has now handed over to the authorities a witness list. Pay attention.
I've just got
killed Nolan.
I've just got a sense, and again, I'm only basing this on the way I've seen cases go. I've got a sense that we don't know what the actual scenario is. That there are a bunch of scenarios out there, and they all seem to not hold water, and that there's some other scenario that we're going to hear
Because
about.
we don't know who was on the island with Nolan after 4:30.
That's right.
We don't know who
Exactly.
he was with.
But we know that boat took off without him.
Right.
Well, our chat is asking, what does this make? Like, if these kids start lawyering up and getting legal help, does that make them look more guilty, or do you think it's just smart?
I think in his case, it's
because
smart.
he's being accused.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally smart.
So I think that one's smart. I think their point is
The earlier
all
one.
the earlier the friends who weren't speaking, and the fact that they
There's
reportedly had
there's
lawyered
something
up.
about that I'd like to know, and I don't know what the answer is, but there is something there.
Crystal, and I'm from Buffalo, New York. I feel like Brett is trying to protect his potential NFL career, and he has the money to do so. And I definitely think it's smart in order for him to lawyer up.
Yeah, that's to your point. Bart plays college football. He's a punter. He's actually pretty good, and some people think could go to the NFL eventually.
Sounds like Brian Bell to me.
So there's that too, that he could be. Yeah, I think it's accurate.
All right, guys. So that's that. There's lawsuits being filed against content creators who are putting out misinformation. So just be careful out there when we are speaking on the case. Never stop speaking on it, though. We will not shut up. Absolutely not. And I still have questions for Bart. Bart, was Nolan on your boat? That's all I'm asking you. I just want to know if he was on your boat. And I can ask questions. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. All right, so let's read a couple more comments, and then we'll get to our next clip. Let's see. Respectful comments. I don't believe that the boat took off without him either. I clearly hear Nolan's name being called in that audio. All right. I agree with you 1,000%. James says it's downright racism, and whoever done that will get caught. And I pray for justice for him and his family. I pray for justice and truth to come out as well. What if your mom? Okay, that's just ignorant. Okay, ignorant comments. Just skipping over them. Pink says, I tell you what, if I were these kids' families, I would sue everybody that posts the BS that everybody's posting because nobody has it right and everybody is saying they do. They can sue. If people are defaming them, let them sue. But on this channel, we're going to ask questions. And threats of a lawsuit is not going to deter me or anybody in the Truth Gang from asking questions. It is what it is. You're welcome. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you are enjoying the show. So we'll read some more comments. And guys, remember, please hit the like button. I'm asking you to. It helps my channel grow. It helps the Truth Gang grow. It helps our video in the algorithm so people can, come in here and have respectful dialogue. All right? Calm down with the disrespectful comments. All right, let's get to the next clip. And which one is it? Since we have, this is my first, I've never reviewed this clip. So this is the first time that we'll be watching this. It is D.L. Hughley. And I do want to know what he has to say about this. So let's just get into this clip as well. And guys, let's keep screaming their name. Because he told Tatum a new one the other day.
Hey, now it's me, D.L. Hughley. Welcome back to Uncertain. So much to get to. This is Jasmine Sanders. This is Austin Hall. This is Moiba. I think, where are you from originally? Don't
Who,
say
me?
I mean, before you came to here. I mean,
boy,
not the answer you give to immigration, the answer you tell us. Tennessee, from Nashville. I didn't know they had huts in Nashville.
That's so
It's crazy. So, of course, Nolan Wells still continues to be a hot topic. And for everybody that asked me why are we still talking about Nolan Wells, one man's Nolan Wells is another man's, Amanda, what was the young? Natalie Holloway.
Natalie Holloway.
One man's Nolan Wells, another man's Natalie Holloway. Remember, we knew all about Joran Vandersloot, and we knew all about Aruba, and we knew all what was happening. Do you think that Nolan Wells was murdered?
I do.
You do?
100%.
I think that Mississippi's going to be Mississippi.
Let's do a poll real quick.
I think
if you
that black
think that Nolan Wells was unalived, put a 1 in the chat. If you think that he died by accident, put a 2 in the chat. Put a 3 in the chat. If you think that he was unalived, but not by his friends, it could have been somebody else on the island. 1 in the chat if he was unalived by his friends. 2 in the chat if it was an accidental death. 3 in the chat if he was unalived by someone else on the island. We don't know. That is why we're asking questions.
Well, a right to question all of the circumstances that have arisen. You have a young man, and almost everything we know about this case, we know because black people wouldn't let it go. Like his mother and her sister, or her somebody that's closely associated with her, found his phone. A young woman, cleaned the audio up so we could hear other things. And so everything we know, but Mississippi is being exactly what Mississippi has always been, and they are dubious and dismissive in terms of black lives. They don't have what you have just as recently as 2024, there were 215 black men who were found in the pauper's grave behind a local sheriff department. 215. All that was missing was a metal. All that was there to signify that there was a metal plate. It only came to light because a mother was looking for looking for a child, and they happened to find it there. Nobody said 215 people. That's a lot of people. You have Medgar Evers. It took 31 years and 3 trials to finally get a justice for him. You had not even 4 weeks ago, a 1-year-old boy was shot by a police officer who has, it's been said that he's had racist connections. We don't hear anything about that. Mississippi has been actively participating in poisoning the water of it, or not even poisoning, allowing the citizens of Jackson to be poisoned with their water supply. The very same thing that existed in the 60s exists now. So they have a dubious history when it comes to the value of black lives. I remember I was playing a gig in Jackson. I stayed at a brand new Westin. It was a brand new Westin they had built in Jackson. It was right across from the jail. And I have a 135-pound Akita. He would travel with me all the time. As soon as we get to the hotel, I get him water. This dude starts shitting everywhere an hour later. I go to the vet, and he said, did he drink the water? Because every few months, the water is so bad that Jackson have a boil advisory. And they know what's happening. They've taken all of their political power away. So why would I believe you? The only reason we know anything is because black people haven't let it go.
I think it's also worth mentioning when you're talking about things that happened dubiously in Mississippi in 2022. Remember Demontario Gibson?
Yes.
The FedEx truck driver,
right,
where a father and son shot him, killed him, and were both acquitted.
And then the two FedEx driver, actually they shot at him. And the judge suspended the case with prejudice, or dismissed the case with prejudice. And they got that right with prejudice. Mm. We are right to be dismissive or to be suspicious of people who've shown us who they are. Mississippi going Mississippi. There's nothing inconsistent about what we know Mississippi to be. I'm not saying that everything that happens there is this way, but they're not. The governor of Mississippi comes out and calls, basically says that Ben Crump and Al Sharpton are stirring up racial strife. No, that ain't what happened. If it weren't for them and people bringing, I can understand, and I don't know what happened, but I do know that a young man is dead, and the fact that his mother, who only wants to seek justice for her child, is getting doxxed, like her job is getting bad reviews, her personal business getting bad reviews, and getting death threats.
Right.
Ain't nothing more Mississippi than threatening black people for nothing. I don't understand what we don't trust you because you've proven to be untrustworthy. Your governor has never said anything, and when he does say something about what's going on in Mississippi, the first thing he really talks about, if any significant, to any significant degree, is to malign Ben Crump and Al Sharpton. It sounds like outside agitators, right? It sounds like what they used to say before.
Right.
It's interesting that Brandon Tatum is welcome in Mississippi when Ben Crump and Al Sharpton are not, for the exact same reason that Stephen A. Smith is welcome at ESPN and Ryan Clark are not. Is not. Anybody who says or asks questions, you talking about a state that got mad because niggas tried to read. And now the new extrapolation of that, the new extension of that is people having internet. So what is it? Why would I trust you? I don't know what happened, but I do know this. Maybe the hang up for me is that they keep bantering, throwing around this word friends. We were his friends. We were his best friends. Who was it? This young man this young man right here.
If Nolan could dig himself out of his grave right now, he would. No doubt. Nolan would be livid is an understatement. Nolan would never want anything pursued this way at all. I think he would be really upset with his parents about how they went about the situation. I think he generally would. I don't think he wouldn't support it. I know that for 110%. I know he wouldn't support any of it.
Best friends? Like I was told the story on the radio earlier this week. I had a best friend, a good friend of mine named Kevin. And Kevin and I were best friends. We would get into it all the time. 16 years old, he had a great job, moved in with this girl. The girl had a kid by somebody else. There was always friction. One day, Kevin asked me to get his back with him. And normally I would, but this time I got so mad at him and told her to leave the girl alone. We had a fight. An argument ensued. I'm like, fuck you, go. And Kevin got killed. And I was so hurt by that. And a lot of people in the neighborhood, I remember, I told the story on the radio, a dude named Roger said, you let that boy to drown by himself. My mother didn't want me to go to the funeral because she thought that the people were they were so mad at me. People just thought they were going to harm me. He was my friend. And I had to say, because if that's your friend, that's the last time you're ever going to see him again, ever. Ever. But these young people throw friend around. When you are grown and you understand what the value of a friend, you understand if you have 5 good friends, you have been blessed. And I had to go say goodbye.
I would like to just take a moment to address this comment right here. That may be what you guys do in your culture, but in the African American culture, we do not leave our friends behind. Our culture is starkly different. We go with and we come back with the same people. It is what it is. It's what we've been taught since babies. Because we've always had to be aware of our surroundings. We've always had to be aware of threats. And we didn't even deserve the threats. It's just by the color of our skin. So please do not discredit our culture just because your culture leave your friends behind. We don't do it. Okay? We're back.
The fact that you weren't compelled to say goodbye to somebody, the fact that you didn't have any grief or lament, the fact that you couldn't even access and try to ascertain what part you could have played in it, lets me know I'm not saying they're guilty, but wasn't one fucking friend in the bunch. Not one of them are friends.
I agree.
They can say acquaintances. They can say I was cool with. They can say team was. You can't tell me a friend. You can't call yourself a friend. Now it's such a cliche word. You BFF, my best friend for life, and this and they even connect the names. Benifer and all that kind of. When you got a friend, it ain't shit you won't do for them.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about a friend.
Listen.
A friend. And not one.
If Nolan Wells wanted to stay on that island, hypothetically, I don't believe that's what happened, but hypothetically, you better believe that my black ass would have been camping on that island with Nolan Wells. Okay? So the mere fact that people are calling these associates, just like DL said, friends, is diabolical. We don't do that. You don't understand our culture. You don't. And it's okay. But don't try to discount what we do or compare what you do to what we do, because we wouldn't leave you. If you, as a Caucasian person, were surrounded by African American people, you better believe that you would be the safest SOB alive. Because in our culture, we're not going to let nothing happen to you. I wish that was reciprocated by you guys. It is what it is. Let's get back to it.
None of them have done anything. I think the problem we're having is that Mississippi is Mississippian and they're mismonitoring friends. None of them have acted friendly. None of them have done the things that we associate with friendship.
Right. They held on to the phone.
Right.
I think they're being advised or just told you can't be there. Except when Officer Tatum comes through. They've been welcomed to an interview.
I would say this. When you hear, they have a scrubbed audio, right? So this is a scrubbed audio.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
They're threatening the woman who scrubbed the audio. Why is it that black women and black men are the ones who are moving this case forward? Why is it that it was his mother that had to find his phone and his keys? Why is it that it was a black woman who worked in the audio industry that had to scrub the audio? Why is it that Ben and Al had to show up there? I'll tell you this, Nancy Grace is there. Nancy Grace has tried 100 felony trials, and she thinks something's suspicious. Because it is.
Why wouldn't you think something was suspicious when you have an independent autopsy and yet you don't get the throat and you don't get the lungs?
The lungs. Here's how I know something happened. Because the easiest thing to do if they have the lungs would be to know if there were water in them. Then they could say he drowned. Now, all the other places we get into, at least you would know he drowned. We're not even getting that. Right. And one thing, if you're gonna lie now, you can't let black people watch TV now, because now we don't all watch
Forensic Files.
Episode 302.
Yes. Law and Order. We know all of it.
Fluid in his lungs.
Yes. I know about the mitochondrial DNA, nigga. But just in everyday parlance, people are aware of these things where they wouldn't have been before. Why are you holding on to the key? We can tell if something happened to his throat. We can tell if something happened to his skull. We can tell if there are hemorrhages in his eyes. We can tell if he got lungs. Why is it that you're holding on to things that really get to the heart of what happened to this young man?
And I also think the biggest question is, why have investigators not pulled these kids together and spoken to them? That's what I don't understand. You have the audio, like you said, the scrubbed audio, where they called in to say that they were sinking, but you can clearly hear that their friend is in distress in the back, but they never mentioned it to the operator.
And you know what they never did? They never challenged that was the case. What they did was, they started threatening the girl and pulling up her criminal history. Nothing. Mississippi is Mississippi.
Right.
And the thing... Everything is going the way it usually does, except now black people are more diligent. The first thing they said was, what about all the black people that killed black people in Chicago? That's the first thing they say. A lot of them go to jail. A lot of them go like if they instantly try to devalue our lives, so we'll go, oh, it's okay now. What it is all of us have children. A lot of us have children, and to have a child come up lost with no answers is a pain that no one should have to go through. And as a matter of practice, this state and other states in America have a tendency to do it by rote. And this time, no. This time, no. Remember that if you are going to be at the City Winery in New York, I will be there at the City Winery. Performingarts.com. Sure, I can't. That brand. I'm not going to call myself Officer Tatum because it's sucker shit to call yourself the job you used to have. It is. If we were together and we ain't no more, I'm your ex, right?
Yeah.
Right? I'm your ex.
Not with him. He's still your boyfriend.
That's how you know. When you're a black man, they make you hold the shit you used to be, so it holds weight now. It holds weight now. I'm not knocking this dude. He looks like the kind of man that would have to marry a white woman. He does. He does. He looks like anytime a man called himself what he used to be, he was a football player and failed at that. Then he found his way into police work, right? Now he's out of that. Now he's always looking for the same adulates and same cheers he used to get on the football field. And usually them came from white coaches. So he's only doing what he's been trained to do.
Wow.
This dude is it, and now to get there, and this dude's talking about he was on cocaine, and listen to this.
Someone close to Nolan, one of his friends, told me that this person was offered cocaine and rejected it from this person. This person told me that it's over 100% chance that Nolan was using cocaine during this period of time.
If he was, in fact, on cocaine and did cocaine and alcohol, the best time to do shit like that is when you're young. If he were a 50-year-old dude doing it, established-year-old dude doing it, it would be a blight. But all of us, I've done cocaine, right? I have.
Wait a minute.
Wait.
Hold up.
I've done cocaine. You've done cocaine, right?
No.
Well, you from Africa. I don't know what you did.
I have not done cocaine.
Okay. I have. Have you done cocaine
First of all,
before?
my mama watching this show. You ain't supposed to be saying shit like I done cocaine. You done. How about we just say everybody here has done shit.
Okay, that's better.
The most salient point of it, we used to do something.
Okay.
There you
But
go.
when you're trying to rely, I guarantee you that if that man, that little boy did that, everybody else, if he did cocaine, he didn't come there with it. They gave it to him.
Right.
The one thing a young black 19-year-old D1 athlete ain't gonna have is cocaine. What he has is people with access to it.
But what they got to do with drowning?
Exactly, because what they try to do is devalue their lives. And I'm gonna tell you something. This dude, man, this dude right here, the reason that they would speak to him as opposed to law enforcement is because he is a listening ear. He's a sympathetic ear.
He's a safe ear.
He's a safe. And the only reason people on the right fuck with black people is if they safe. They're predictable. I got to know what you're going to do, or I can't fuck with you. What does it say that Nancy Grace, an established prosecutor, believes there's something there, and he doesn't? The girl, who's the girl? Miss Rachel believes there's something there, but the shoe booty nigga that couldn't make a football team believes that he knows some people don't. This dude. And he's getting, and he talked about how he got death threats. You didn't talk about how his mama got death threats. You had his best friend on there maligning that relationship. I don't know that dude. I don't know who did what. But the only person I know for sure is innocent is that boy's mama. I don't know nothing about them, and I know for sure none of them was friends. None of them. They have taken a wide latitude and a license with a friendship, and that's the problem we're having, because we don't know a friend that would act like that.
Well, not even that. I think the bigger problem also is I don't know a case that didn't involve melanated people that you would have something like this happen. You were talking earlier about Natalie Holloway. They searched for that guy for 18 years.
Yes.
And that story about Natalie Holloway.
Right.
Yes. But that story was on the news every day or every other day. They wanted to get to the bottom of it. They wanted to talk to any and everyone who was in proximity of her. However, you don't talk to the kids who saw him last.
Exactly. When this dude, Brandon Tatum, talks about Sandra Massey and talked about Sandra Massey had acted so suspiciously by holding a boiling water that she basically led to her own death. Because the thing about black people, the thing when black people die, you don't die once, you die over and over again. They kill your character, they kill who you could have been, and they kill what people knew you as. Now we're going to start hearing about how is it really that unusual that an 18-year-old kid getting ready to go off to college got drunk or tried drugs? Is it really? Don't talk to me about morality when you right now support a dude who's closely associated with a pedophile. Fuck you and your values. Don't tell me about that. And you supposed to be a cop too?
I was about to say, no wonder he got fired. I'm like,
former
cop, solve the case.
Former cop. What made him elevate like this was going viral on social media. So what he is an influencer.
But talking an influence, but only for them.
He got a YouTube channel. I don't even like calling him an influencer.
And how dare you put yourself in the same sin as me? You was my fan. I was never yours. I'd have never liked a nigga like you.
Oh,
never.
Oh, wow. That'll hold him.
Never. I'd have never. I used to be his fan, but I'm supposed to make people like you uncomfortable. I'm raid for niggas like you. I am. I'm sunshine to roaches. I'm light to roaches. You supposed to not like me. We're not supposed to be in the same sphere. I'm glad that you stopped liking me because that means I was doing something right. What you are doing is making apologies for something that should be easy to have. We should all be suspicious of a state that has shown itself to be dubious when it comes to black lives. And you forget you have one. And how dare you have the temerity to talk about the way somebody else speak?
Yeah.
You have the temerity to speak about somebody else speak. You didn't get into this game because of your acumen. You got into this because of your size and your athletic prowess. When that didn't work, you used that same thing for police work. When that didn't work, you tried to intimate.
Tatum is what we call in our community a house nigger. That is exactly who he is. Period, point blank. I said it in the story.
You had intellect. Let's play with them, kid. I've been at this longer than you've been alive. And I'm still here. And you know my name. And the only reason I know your name is because somebody gave me a coon alert. Literally. He is.
That's gonna leave a mark.
And the problem with him, and he don't seem to get this, and I'm never gonna call you officer. You're not that anymore. You're not an officer. You're an ex-officer. And you didn't make it to detective. I would have a different conversation if you'd risen to the level of detective. If you were on police department 6 years, you didn't get far. And now you're sitting up here talking to us as you're if you're an expert.
Well, not just talking to us, but having the audacity to go and sit down with these alleged friends to investigate. Because remember in his video, he said, I traveled here to Mississippi to get to the truth.
Right.
These kids are innocent.
Right.
How dare you? Blah, blah, blah. But actually did get the interview, which of course questions why.
Why?
Well, I know why, but.
I'm going to tell you something. The last thing they'll let a big, strong black man do is put them in a position where they're uncomfortable. By definition, if they let you in their proximity, they're comfortable around you. They're comfortable around you. And I don't...
Excuse me? I'm not surprised about what he's saying. I actually agree with what he's saying. So the panel, which is me, Auntie Leah, don't get it twisted, that's me. I'm not surprised. I agree with everything that he's saying. Stop interrupting our live. Let's continue.
I don't know how you can investigate a situation that has so many moving parts and make people comfortable.
Yeah.
Most times, law enforcement is shaking a tree and see who does what.
My parents would have whooped my ass if I held on to that phone. What you got this phone for?
Exactly. Exactly.
It's a dead person's phone.
Right.
You turn this shit in.
Exactly. I do not understand. I know what it's like to lose a friend, somebody you love. I can't go honestly, I can't go, I'm sure this has brought that up for me. So it's almost every time something happens, I think about it often and what part I could have played. But the one thing I know for sure, I will always question my actions in terms of if I'd have been there, what could happen. But I'll never question how much I loved him and how much a friend of him I was. I hold him in my heart. Right. Up until about 10 years ago, I used to use his name when I checked in the hotel. Don't tell me about a fucking friend. Don't tell me about you scared because people might do you harm. I'm going to say bye to my fucking friend because it's the last time I get to see him. So let's stop using the word friend. Maybe if we were saying acquaintances, maybe if we were saying teammate, maybe you were saying
let's talk about that very important fact. Because if somebody was my best friend or my true friend, guys, you would not be able to keep me from their funeral if I was innocent of any wrongdoing. You see the difference between white and black culture? Innocent black versus white or innocent white culture, allegedly. You're not going to be able to keep us away. I'm going to put on my whole armor of God and I'm going to march in that funeral and I'm going to go up and I'm going to say bye to my friend because I know for a fact I didn't do nothing. Let's keep going because this is interesting. Very interesting.
we wouldn't have the import. It wouldn't have the weight that it does. You put that weight on there. You inserted yourself in the story. You said you were his friend. You told us, but you forgot that niggas know what friends are. We know what that means. The fraternity I belong to, I went to that fraternity because of its value and its connected to friendship. So don't sit up there and tell me, play on the word friend, and then expect me not to hold yourself up to it. Don't talk to me about morality when you do anything other than that. I don't know what you did. I know what you didn't do. You weren't a friend. You weren't that. You can be anything else. Don't call yourself a friend. And if that's a friend to you, if that's a friend to you and somebody who is in that sphere claims to be your friend, you better fucking run.
Yeah.
You better run. The one thing we know, because we ain't ever had shit else, the one thing we know is friends. And the other thing we know is bullshit. And those people are not acting in any way friendly or people that are concerned about the outcome.
Right.
To the funeral, or the memorial service.
Right.
Why didn't you go?
Obviously, I want to say my last goodbyes to one of my best friends, but I mean, if I'm getting thousands of death threats of people saying they're going to kill me and do crazy things to my family and I just,
let's talk about that, because I don't believe not one iota in me believes that these kids are being threatened. You know why? Because we don't do that. Our culture, we don't troll you. We don't threaten you. If we're going to do it, we're going to move in silence and we're just going to do that shit. So I don't believe not 1 minute, second, hour, ounce, centimeter, millimeter, whatever, that they're being threatened. Argue with your mama. Don't argue with me. Let's continue.
bring myself to go because, you know, I got to put my own safety first.
Not just the friends, but the parents of the friends, because you would think that they would know, you know, that it would be the right thing to do to seek justice for another child.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, this shit just blows my mind because it's like, yo, why you holding on to this phone? This is something that can help.
Because an adult knows, an adult in authority, an adult who's in the legal realm knows that that's information.
Correct.
It's time, it's pinging off towers. It puts people in proximity to things. They know how valuable that
They've
phone
been
is.
coached. They've been coached.
That's what I'm like.
Yeah.
That boy didn't call, talk about giving. He talked to an adult.
If we were watching this on a TV show, everybody, we would all be like, oh, they did it.
They did it.
You would instantly think that if you were just watching the show and they put all this there, we were watching Law and Order, you'd be like, oh, they did it.
If it was, we changed the circumstances around and everybody looked differently, we'd all say they did. The difference is we would say they did it, no matter who did it.
Okay, so the person that claims to be, this person right here that claims to be a black person with no profile pic, who are you? You can't speak for us. You're too scared to even show who you really are. So the fact that you put this comment doesn't mean nothing, because you're too scared to even show who you really are. So you don't speak for all black people if you are really black. I said what I said. Real black people don't troll. We don't threaten like that, right? I do not believe that these kids are being threatened. And I said what I said. with my face. Okay? Clock it. Clock it. Let's keep going.
Right.
And if and when, and somebody's going to have done something, if and when, and now I understand that the family, Nolan Wells' family, is serving his friends notices. I will tell you this: if and when we find out that somebody was involved or somebody knew about it, they should sue not only them, but they should sue Brandon Tatum too. You inserted yourself in that. You want a bite of this shit sandwich? Take your part.
Right.
I guarantee that you should have a part of it, because that's what happens. You wanted to be an influencer? Okay, play that game. You wanted to. I have never, like the one thing, and I'll leave it here, because he said, you can't make me hate white people. I would never want you to hate anybody. I'm not asking you to hate white people. I'm asking you, who the fuck made you hate us? I said this earlier. The same reason that Mississippi feels comfortable with Brandon Tatum, they're comfortable with him as opposed to Al Sharpton and my frat brother Ben Crump, is the exact same reason that ESPN feels comfortable with Stephen A. Smith as opposed to Ryan Clark. How dare you ask questions and be a supporter of the people we're trying to malign? When I saw Ryan Clark, this is Ryan Clark when he was emotional.
And this kid, you know, from the West Bank, is like so accepted in New Orleans now. Like, I wouldn't change that. You know, never. You know, like, all I ever wanted to do was be accepted.
All this kid wants to do is his job. All he wants to do is bring his experiences into his profession and humanize it in a way. And they don't need that. What does it say that they feel comfortable with Stephen A. Smith and not with him? And the only person between those two who was the athlete, who was on the field, who won championships, who bled for his profession, who competed at a level that only dozens of people in the world have, is him. What did he do that made you feel like he was the threat and he was the thing you had to put? The real expert, the one who bled and got concussions and hit people and went to practices and know what it's like to be in the crucible of athletic competition, and the dude who talks shit about it. One plays black, one is.
Yeah. Well, he said it. He said that he felt he was too black for them.
He was. You know, the thing that is true is when you make people feel bad, when you're a dissenting voice in the room, when you say the things that they get not to hear, you are already a target. There's an old expression like always bet on black, except if it's in ESPN or Mississippi. All right, that's gonna do it for the show this evening. This is Uncertain. We'll see you next week.
I'm muted. I'm sorry. I wanted to say that I really enjoyed D.L. Hughley's his dialogue. This is my first time listening to his podcast, so shout out to D.L. Hughley. He has some very good points, very interesting points about history and about what's going on in society today. Thank you for the respectful dialogue that's happening in the comments. I'm trying to get the trolls out of here as fast as I can. So I do apologize. But before we end tonight, I have one more segment that I wanted to share that we can watch together as a family, as the Truth Gang. If you have not liked the video, I'm asking you to please like the live. Please hit subscribe. Please hit all notifications because we are live frequently, mainly almost every evening. But sometimes I need a mental break. I'm not going to lie about that. It's so much that we need to comb through that it's heartbreaking. So we're going to watch this last clip and then let's meet tomorrow night. Same time, same channel. Let's get into it. All right. Shout out to Kumo.
There are significant new developments in the mysterious death of 18-year-old Nolan Wells that we want to talk about tonight. Now, Wells disappeared after boating with friends on July 4th weekend. Days later, his body was found in the water near Horn Island off Mississippi's Gulf Coast. And while investigators have said that drowning appears to be the preliminary cause of death, even though the official findings from the autopsy haven't been released, his family has continued to raise questions, right? Why did he go off on his own? Why didn't he have a cell phone? How could no one help? How could no one notice? Well, today, the Jackson County District Attorney met face-to-face with Nolan's parents and their legal team for the first time. And after that meeting, the family announced that once investigators complete their work, this case is going to be presented to a grand jury. Now, to be clear, that doesn't mean charges are coming, but it does seem to suggest that jurors are going to review the evidence to determine whether any criminal charges should be filed. The family says the DA also made clear that no decisions about possible charges are going to be made until the sheriff's investigation is complete. And there's also another major development, and this involves one of the most important pieces of evidence in this case, Nolan's cell phone. The phone was reportedly with Nolan's friends. The family says that they believe content may have been removed from the device before it was returned. Now the phone is going to apparently undergo a joint forensic examination with both law enforcement and the family's independent experts reviewing the device together. They hope it can provide critical answers about Nolan's final hours. I want to bring in Dante Mills, a national trial attorney at Mills Legal. Good to see you, sir. Significant that the family met with the DA, but potential grand jury. Does that signify to you that there's criminal culpability here?
Jesse, not yet. Listen, this is every parent's worst nightmare. You have your child goes out with friends and everybody comes back except your child. So I understand the position they're taking where they want answers. They want to know why this tragic situation happened, and they're willing to do anything to get those answers. And I think rightfully so. Any parent will feel the same way. But let's not jump to conclusions here. We also can't look at what the family is saying and kind of take that as law, because they're going to hear investigators talk the way they kind of want to ingest the information. So the investigators are saying, they're saying, listen, we're doing an investigation. We plan on moving forward. However, the evidence shows, the family can come out of that thinking, well, there has to be something there. So clearly they're going to have something to present to the grand jury, but that's not the case.
And to be clear, it does not necessarily have to be or would be a homicide charge. There could be other crimes associated with this investigation, even if somebody misled law enforcement, which I'm not saying happened, but you could present anything to a grand jury. Right?
Absolutely. And we don't have to be talking about murder or homicide. This could be an accidental death where there was evidence tampering, right? Where they tampered with the evidence, maybe deleted something from the cell phone that just seemed weird or odd, or put somebody else in a bad light. So they did that so they wouldn't look bad, even though it had nothing to do with the death itself.
I got to say, I'm a little confused by the cell phone. I've seen reports that the family hadn't initially handed over to law enforcement, and now it's going to be this joint examination both by the family's experts and law enforcement's experts and investigators. How does that work exactly? Have you ever heard of that before?
I have. I've actually done those forensic analysis of electronic devices where I've had my expert go in and capture these devices, actually get them from the investigators themselves. It's a little different than when you're talking about blood samples or something like that, when you're passing it around and you don't want to do that because it could be, contaminated. With electronic evidence, those things are going to be consistent. It's going to show when a text message was sent, what was included in that text message. There's going to be time blocks and things like that that are really difficult to change and almost impossible to change. So I've had situations where I've done investigations at the same time as the federal or state investigators to try and get that data off of phones laptops, computers, other things like that. It's different than what you normally think of like passing around blood samples or bullet, fragments or something.
Sure.
Or fingerprints can be transferred or something like that.
Two things. One, there's also been a lot of talk about why he didn't have his phone, right? There's some conversation, well, if he went into the water, it'd be not uncommon for him to leave his phone behind. But then if he had gone off to talk with some girl, wouldn't he have his phone? Separate conversation. If it was in the if the phone was in the family's possession or in, Ben Crump's possession for this period of time, does the evidence have to be excluded? Is it not contaminated in some way?
It doesn't. And that's just what we were just talking about. So I mean, some things are concrete, like that electronic data information of innocent or received, or if it was deleted. If, say, for example, the family got it and someone's saying, oh, the evidence is bad because the family could have added that, there's going to be an electronic footprint of when that text was sent. So if it wasn't sent before the death, then obviously it wouldn't be included in any investigation involving the death. That's a little different when you talk about how high stakes those electronic data is, and how actually it shows you how beneficial it is to have that, because that's concrete.
Look, the family needs answers. That's the bottom line. I know they're planning an independent autopsy. I know we're still waiting for the official autopsy from the state. So let's see what happens next. Dante Mills, good to see you, my friend. Thank you.
Always. Thank you.
All right, Cuomo Crime Time. Animation's too long, but I like it in the podcast. You can go and subscribe on YouTube right now. Cuomo Crime Time, where we take you inside stories to try to get to what people are selling you and whether or not you should be buying, okay? This Nolan Wells case is a very interesting one and a good example, proof of premise. Online, it's all about the conspiracies. Racism is the least of it, okay? What do we know? July 4th, Nolan, black teen, went out on a boat in Mississippi with 4 of his friends who were all white. Later that day, the 4 other kids returned, no Nolan. But they did have his cell phone. They say Nolan chose to stay back on the island voluntarily. Without his phone? Nolan's body was found after a 2-day search in the water near the shoreline. Now there is a suggestion that he wasn't in the water. He got back out and was seen at a party. Nolan's parents don't buy the story as told and think race may be a factor. Lauren Conlon covers the story and the conspiracy theories circulating online for LA Magazine and joins us now. Lauren, good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
What doesn't make sense to you right now that is out there?
I mean, Chris, let's be honest. We don't know a lot factually. Law enforcement hasn't actually put anything out there that we can verify, anything that's credible. And I just want to point out, it's been a week, just about a week. Autopsies, they can take months. Toxicologies, they can take months. With that being said, I understand his family wants answers. I mean, the whole thing about his phone being with his friend, his wallet and his belongings, I mean, that's strange. Teens generally don't part with their phones. However, they're all hanging out. They're on an island. They're boating. They're swimming. My opinion, he probably put it down. He forgot about it. He's talking to a girl. He likes this girl. The days get crazy and they're fun. They're all having fun at this point. So, I mean, the conspiracy theories and the content creators and the online sleuths at this point are making a lot of noise. And I will say they have good intentions. They absolutely do. But I think there are too many cooks in the kitchen right now, so to speak.
2 things can be true at the same time. People don't swim with their phone, okay, right? Because they don't want it to get wet. So that would be a plausible explanation of why you leave it on the boat. However, if you decided to stay, why wouldn't you take your phone? So that is a legitimate question, while there could be an explanation for the original placement of the phone. Now comes this photo that people are using as proof that, but he wasn't in the water. There he is right there. Can we verify that that's who he is, or we just see someone with brown skin?
Well, his family hasn't verified who that is, Cuomo. And also, you can't see the metadata on that photo. I have seen various reports that came out actually today of people who were at that party who said that party actually happened in June. I don't know about you. I don't post a lot of photos in real time. And again, This is not verified by law enforcement. This is online.
Right.
These are people talking. So I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think that was the night of July 4th into July 5th. But again, I feel awful for his family. I cannot even imagine what they're going through not having these answers. But I would say trust law enforcement at this point. Trust the process, as awful and as grueling as it is.
Understood.
It does take more than a week.
Understood. Lauren Collins.
First of all, let's stop and give a shout out to J9. Nephew is in the building. What it do, baby? What it do? You good?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you, nephew. You there? Okay, guys. So I think he's having a little technical difficulty. So let's get back into the video and we'll hear from him a little later.
Thank you. I know you'll be on it, and we're here for it. Thank you very much.
It's too much going on my headphones.
What do these new records actually tell investigators? Do they answer any of the big questions in the case? For that, I turn to Cheryl McCollum, active crime scene investigator in Metro Atlanta, who's worked on high-profile cases from Tupac Shakur to the Zodiac Killer. She's also the author of Swans Don't Swim in a Sewer. Great to see you as always, Cheryl. So what answers? Does this dispatch audio? Does this this GPS data? What answers do you have now that you're in?
You know, you can hear the voice. He doesn't sound panicked. He doesn't sound out of control. He sounds very calculated. There's a problem. They're trying to handle it. The other thing we now have is GPS. Tracking that boat is critical because these boys already made a statement. They already talked to family. They already talked to law enforcement. If their story does not match completely with what that boat did, then they're going to have a problem.
Well, from what I can see, it seems consistent in the idea that the boat was having problems. What is interesting is the dispatcher says, is everyone on board and in good health otherwise? And the caller says, yeah, everyone on board. First of all, everybody's on board. Nolan wasn't on board, right? And he's not fully answering the question.
Well,
I mean, unless I'm looking at it wrong. I mean, unless I'm completely off.
Well, he's probably answering what he knows is accurate at that time. If Nolan stayed behind, then everybody is on board because he wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah.
So she asked a very unusual question when she says, is everybody in good health otherwise? I think that's unusual. But again, they are sinking. So she's making sure, hey, is everybody on board? Is nobody jumping off? Like, if you're really sinking, are you going ahead and, getting in the water? But he says, no, everybody's on board.
Do we have a more accurate window of Nolan's movements? I mean, let's think about it, right? So the investigators said that he was last seen at around 3 p.m. I haven't seen other accounts that would seem to dispute that. There's a dispute about whether he, left to go talk to a girl or came back on board. And then you have this GPS data showing the boat didn't leave Horn Island until about 4:30. This dispatch, is around 4 p.m. What does this tell you?
There were hundreds of people out there. You've seen the video and the photographs. How somebody did not see him is pretty shocking to me, especially if he left one group that knows him to go with another group that clearly knows him. I don't understand how he got separated from everybody that he knows. It is early. They are actively still talking to people. They are gathering, photographic evidence and video evidence from people that were there. Even if I did not know him, if I'm just taking a video of the whole crowd, I could have captured him. So people that have no connection to him are still turning in evidence to be, looked at and analyzed.
And look, his family says it would be highly unusual that he would separate from a group. I also, while I have you, I got to ask you about the phone. Phone's a key piece of evidence in this case. There was a claim that perhaps data was deleted from his phone. He didn't have his phone with him. We know it was announced, according to Ben Crump, who's representing the family, that there's going to be this mutual investigation or examination of the phone, both by the family's private experts and by state investigators. A, is that unusual? And B, what are you hoping to find?
I like it. And let me tell you something. You've got a mama that does not understand what happened to her baby, period. She deserves to have those folks look at it. You've got your expert. I've got mine. Y'all are going to look at this thing at the exact same time. There's not going to be a doubt in my mind what is extracted from that phone and what it means. I like that part a whole lot. That to me should happen. There should be no secrets. This is not a situation where you say you've got to wait on the autopsy.
Absolutely.
You got to wait on toxicology. She doesn't want to wait. She wants to know right now because you're telling me something that for her does not make sense. It has to make sense. And Jesse, you know this from your background in the courts. When you have parents that have lost a child, you have got to give them all the information in a way that they can absorb it and understand it
100%.
and eventually accept it.
Especially if they don't trust local law enforcement. And look, as we reported yesterday, Ben Crump indicated also that the DA told him that after the investigation, this case may be presented to a grand jury for potential criminal charges, whether that's directly related to Nolan's death or something that happened in this investigation. We'll see. We'll be on top of it. Sharon McCollum, thank you so much for taking the time.
I have yet to see a fact or a piece of evidence that suggests any foul play. But if there is, I feel confident that the sheriff's office, the district attorney's office, the members at the Department of Public Safety that deal with these crimes, if there had been one, they will find it and they will do what is necessary.
Well, if you don't know anything, why are you talking? Because it's starting to bubble up as important. And that's why we're covering on Cuomo Crime Time. And you can go get the podcast anywhere you get podcasts. It's free. Subscribe. We're taking on these kinds of cases and showing you the inside from the people who are pros in figuring this out as opposed to just peddling conspiracies. So will the family of the dead 18-year-old Nolan Wells start getting answers about how exactly this happened? Nolan was the only black kid in his friend group of 5 who went out on the boat that July 4th. Does that matter? Nolan was also the only one who never returned. That obviously matters. His body was found 2 days after he was reported missing near the shoreline off Horn Island. Did he die in the water or did he die on land? That we're going to know. Police initially said they did not suspect foul play, but his family is insisting on a full investigation. Yesterday, the DA met with Nolan's parents. Afterwards, the family said the case will be presented to a grand jury once the investigation is complete. Interesting. They also said Nolan's phone, which he didn't keep with him when he was separated from his friends, will undergo a forensic inspection from both state and the family's chosen experts. The family believes some of Nolan's messages may have been deleted. Why do they believe that? There's also been new audio released of the boys on the boat that afternoon. Does it mean anything? Let's get some answers. Let's bring in former FBI agent Jennifer Coffindaffer and civil rights attorney Ariva Martin. It's good to have you both. Jennifer, let's start with the nuts and bolts. The audio, does it advance understanding?
Not really, Chris. I guess in a sense, it advances the fact that they were discussing leaking on the boat, that a bilge had an issue. Really, that was it. There was nothing in it that showed anything nefarious, any fighting or anything along those lines. So in that aspect, yes, it gave more clarity.
When the investigation is done, we will present it to a grand jury. Now, Ariva, that can mean something. It can mean nothing, because you can always go to a grand jury. It kind of gives the accountability over to the jury.
No, I think it's an important development, Chris, in this case. This case, basically, Nolan Wells died, and his death is a mystery to all of us at this point. And when you have a case of this nature, a suspicious murder, suspicious death, I shouldn't say murder because we don't know at this point, but a suspicious death, I think it's appropriate for this case to be submitted to a grand jury. And I believe the independent investigation that's happening with respect to the phone is appropriate, as well as this independent autopsy, which the family has also commissioned as well. Look, you got to look at Mississippi. You have to look at the history of racial terror in Mississippi, the history of African-American victims in a state like Mississippi. And I would concur with the family that they should have independent forensic evidence that is presented to a grand jury, because there is no trust that this family has in this law enforcement agency. You have the governor coming out making statements. You said yourself, Chris, if you don't know anything, why are you talking? So to even have a governor weigh in at this early stage is seemingly inappropriate, particularly since we don't know the facts and this notion that there's no foul play. There's no evidence to support that statement whatsoever.
That answer will be that question will be answered in large part, Jennifer, by the autopsy. Am I correct?
Absolutely. That autopsy is going to show, listen, is there water in the lungs or wasn't there water in the lungs? If there's water in the lungs, that is going to show he likely drowned. If there isn't, that would show that there was foul play and that something happened in advance of him going into that water. So the autopsy is key, along with the toxicology.
Ma'am, I've always said that they could have released the cause of death the day that the autopsy was released. I've always explained the difference between the cause of death versus the manner of death. The cause of death is how he died. Did he drown? Gunshot wound, knife wound, or whatever. That's cause. Manner of death is, was it murder? Was it suicide? Was it accidental? They could have told us that weeks ago, but they decided not to. And my question is, and always will remain, why? Let's keep going.
And this is points of evidence that are independent, meaning no matter what, both individuals, whether it's the ME or whether it's the independent people conducting the autopsy, should come to the same conclusion because it's scientific.
So Dusty, when you were answering the question, said to me, what about the toxicology? Would that decide it? In truth, it goes with your answer. I'll give it to you, Ariva. If there's water in the lungs and the toxicology shows the presence of things, it might help explain why he drowned, but it's still a drowning. And if there's toxicology that's really high and there's no water in the lungs, then it could be suggestive of drugs, but it's what else the autopsy shows, right? Because you can be high and also have been strangled. You know what I mean? You got to see what the autopsy is.
You can be intoxicated and still be pushed into water and drowned by other people. So the drowning itself or water in the lungs is not going to be dispositive about whether a crime was committed in this case. We have to have the complete evidence. I want to know what those friends know. We've been getting these shifting narratives, Chris, about what happened that day. Did he stay behind with the girl? Was the girl even on the island? There's some accounts that the girl left the island and wasn't on the island with Nolan Wells. What did his friends know? When did they come forward with the information that they did have access to? So I don't think water in the lungs alone, or even whatever we learn from this toxicology report alone, is going to give us all the answers this family and this community deserve.
I know it's not satisfying, Jennifer, but what I keep saying to people is, all I know is at this point, it's not wrong to be asking questions. When you get the autopsy back and they give it to you and it seems to check out with other forensic experts that this seems right, that's when you start exhausting the questions and the answers. But right now, they need to get that piece involved. And as soon as they do, I'm coming back to you so that you can help me understand what we now know and what we still need to know and what it means. Jennifer Coffindaffer, thank you as always. Ariva Martin, good to see you. Thank you for having me.
Till the very end, and make sure we're dealing with justice. Let's first hear from the mother, Christine Wansley.
First of all, I want to say thank you, everyone, for being here. This is not how I wanted the world to meet my son, but here we are. So, as you know, I'm Christine Wells Wansley. I am Nolan Wells's mom. And Nolan is the kindest soul. He never met a stranger. He loved everybody. He didn't care if you were black, white, purple, green, looked like a marshmallow. Like, he just wanted everyone to be in peace with one another. He loved life, and God gave him this big heart, which always scared us. Me and his dad had conversations with him all the time, not just about the importance of understanding our history as Black people, but also the importance of how you have to move in certain spaces. And it's not us being, feeding into racism or the stereotypes that comes with
Exactly.
that. Unfortunately, that is
Exactly.
just a matter of fact. There have been many cases, many instances
It doesn't matter.
that shows it's unfortunately a pattern that he did not like. He did not like that there was so much division, and I think that's why God gave him us. He was really a peacemaker. He wanted, like I said, everyone to be included. He never wanted to leave anyone out. He just, even at a young age, I don't know, he was, how old was he?
18.
No, not 18. When he was a baby, he did a little dance. So his father and I were having a moment. And as couples do.
Please note that she said his father, not his stepfather. So the fact that Tristation got on Officer Tatum's interview and called this man Nolan's stepfather is proof that he was not Nolan's best friend. He would have known that this is Nolan Wells' biological father. This is almost over, and then we're going to end for tonight, guys.
And even in that moment, he runs in the room with his diaper on, of course, and he starts dancing because it was like he could feel the tension. He could feel that something wasn't right. So he was just a special kid. Like, he was a special kid, but again, just heart was so big. And we're gonna miss him dearly. But we are grateful, especially to our friend Tashima, who actually was one of the people who helped us that night. She went and picked up his cell phone from where it was, and then provided that to us, because we of course contacted authorities to figure out who to do the report with, whether it was the county or the city, which then turned into DMR, who I contacted immediately from there. And but
How you got the cell phone?
so our friend actually, when I called her, Nolan is best friends with her two sons, Jalen and Javon. When I called her, I said, Tashima, have you seen Nolan? He's missing. No one has seen him. No one has talked to him. The boys were actually with her sons. So they opened up their Snapchat, because a lot of the kids do have their locations where they're tracking one another. So one of the boys says, well, it's showing that, I can't exactly remember what his location was showing, but my Life 360 location was showing something completely different. It was actually showing that his phone was like he was on land. And so we ended up, she received the phone from that parent, and then we met up where his car was, which was at a separate location. There were issues obtaining the key.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based,
All right, guys,
unbiased.
so that is the end. Nephew J9 did say that he will join again another time. He is tending to his child. We did have somebody else that wanted to come on the panel. If you guys want to come on the panel to voice your opinion and your just to make your voice heard, now is the time to do so. The link is in the comments. All right, because we will be ending this live soon. So let me know if you do want to come up. If not, we'll go ahead and we'll end the live stream, and we'll meet tomorrow. We'll meet up tomorrow, because we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop screaming justice for Kendra Johnson. We're not going to stop screaming justice for Nolan Wells. we're not going to stop screaming free Carmelo Anthony. We're not. So we do have a guest that wants to come on. Hey, salute.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, nephew?
I'm doing good.
Good. Tell us what's good. What is it that you want to say to the people?
I just would like to say how I've been watching this case for a couple of days, the whole month that it's been up. I kind of have like maybe what you might see as like a controversial
Okay,
viewpoint about this.
let's go.
I believe that, number one, the parents grieving and everything, that is obviously, of course, like, they lost a loved one. This just so happens to be a Black family. I'm Black as well. So, when someone in our community passes or whatever, and something like this makes like national news, it's like we see a Black family in pain, and we see one of our brother's son, cousin, nephews, pass away. We as Black people, we are emotional and spiritual creatures. We know that, everyone knows that. But sometimes I feel like we can lean too far into emotion, and forget about logic.
Okay.
What I have seen so far is, or what I've heard, and I try to take an objective view to this stuff, is that for me and how it looks, is on Nolan's side, on Nolan's family, and how they have communicated all of this. It for me, what they have said in a lot of instances is they keep saying things that leave a whole bunch of ambiguity and mystery to it. For example, like this press conference that you had up, Ben Crump, he was on, I think, Chicago Live or Live in Chicago, I forget. But it was like the first news that he went on, a news appearance, and he said that there were deleted messages in Nolan's phone. The mother then, on the press conference that was just playing, I was just on, she then goes on to say, I felt as if there may have been deleted Snapchat messages, which first when Crump says deleted messages, I thought phone, like your text messages. So when the mother then comes out and says, I felt, which, in the court of public opinion, obviously we're feeling things, but in like a judicial system, you can't go off of feeling. But, she's grieving, right? So I felt as if there may have been deleted messages because I didn't see any from that day. I thought, oh, Snapchat, right? I forget the kids are on Snapchat nowadays. But, you could feel as if they were deleted, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they were. And so, so immediately I'm thinking, okay, your lawyer said one thing, but then you days later say something else. But where your lawyer stated something, a complete sentence that he said it with conviction and fact, what you said leaves a whole bunch of ambiguity. It's like, I feel, and there may, and I just had this feeling, and it's like, okay, fine. She's grieving. They then go on to say something about having to identify him by his dental records. Well, immediately I thought, dang, what happened to his body? I know he was in the water, and did a shark get him? Did an alligator get him? They're down in Mississippi.
Right.
But he then washes up on shore on that Monday morning, and his, everything seemed to be like he had his face, which you could identify him as with. He has fingerprints, you can identify him that. So why put out dental records? Like it causes us to kind of, like us as Black people, or just myself, I'll just say myself, we go into this emotional place, like, oh Lord, oh my God, and we're holding on to each and every little fact that they, conveniently are just putting out like every week. It seems like just one little fact every week. And it's getting to the point where I think that I won't say that they're necessarily, the parents aren't lying about anything, but I don't believe that we should also be pointing to the boys, right? Because all I've seen on social media are these boys that, they know something, they did something. And so I just don't feel like, my intuition is telling me, I don't think anything is there. I believe that it was accidental. There were about, they reported like 12,000 deaths on July 4th, and 4,000 of those deaths were by water, with the people having alcohol in their system. So about a third of people who died that day, Nolan just so happened to be in that number. And I just believe that is that. I don't
Okay.
believe that, it's these white boys are doing something sinister, or they at least know something sinister happened. Like, why didn't they post anything? And I'm thinking, well, let's put ourselves in their shoes. If this were reversed, right? If this were Pookie or Ray Ray, 3 black boys and 1 white boy, of course, we're thinking like, yeah, I would post. And, why didn't they go to the funeral? It's like, because we've always been seen in this country as guilty until proven innocent. But we're not, this ain't Pookie and Ray Ray. These are white boys who are innocent until proven guilty.
Okay.
They lawyered up, and, I'm pretty sure their lawyers were saying, like, listen, everybody shut everything down. Because we have to lawyer up. This is making national news now. People got your faces. They know your school. They know your name. If I were a parent and this were my child, I would tell them shut them social medias down too. And we need to get a lawyer. If this were some
Let me
black,
stop you right there real quick.
okay,
You indicated that you don't believe that it was accidental. I mean, that you believe that it was accidental, right?
I believe his death, yes, was accidental and not by the hands of anyone.
So let me ask you this.
Not the 3 boys. Sorry, the 3 boys.
Okay, so I am in agreement with you when it comes to it may not have been the 3 boys, right? But what I disagree with is that if it was accidental, they would have told us how he drowned. Or let me rephrase that. They would have told us the cause of death the day that they completed the autopsy. Because what I've been proclaiming, how he died, gunshot wound, stab wound, drowning, etc., they knew at autopsy. Would you agree?
Right.
Manner of death is different, right? How, right? Unaliving, suicide, accident. That's where tox comes in. Following me?
Yeah.
So, if it was that simple, if he in fact died accidental as a drowning, they would have came out and said that. Now, I'm not saying that the boys did anything. Never said it.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
Don't know if they did or didn't.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
What I'm saying is that if it was simple, if the case was cut and dry, if it was a simple drowning, they would have said that weeks ago.
Right.
But instead, they're tight-lipped, which makes a lot of room for speculation. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Yes, you are definitely right. Now, who is being tight-lipped?
Law enforcement.
Aha. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Law enforcement.
I'm thinking like we're sitting here hanging on to these headlines. Like today they said or was it today or yesterday, where they announced that he was heavily intoxicated. And I saw this podcaster or podcast group, a couple of guys on the podcast saying like, well, why would they criminalize him like that? And things like that. And it's like, to me, I don't think they're criminalizing him. They're trying to state that, being inebriated in a big body of water on a hot day, that is cause for a fatality to happen. It's a possibility it could happen.
So why would they hide it though? If that was the
why
case?
would they hide it? Why would they keep releasing these?
Guys, wait. Welcome all to the panel. Let me disagree with you. They're gaslighting.
Right.
And they're deflecting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Let's be real. They're trying to create a different narrative.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead, EJ. You finish your statement. I apologize for interrupting, and then
That's
we're going
all
to allow. Is it roguish?
Roguish.
To interject his opinion as well. So
Appreciate it.
Okay. It's just I keep thinking like we keep being presented with 2 options, like how 2 truths can be held at the same time. Are we going to go logical with this, where we're just solely based on facts that are being presented, or are we going emotional and black pain and black rage and our money, tying our money to our emotions, and so we're giving money and for what? Like, okay, we know how he passed. He's passed. Like, why the narrative? Why the boys? Why go this way? When we see he drowned. Like, and then the boys are saying like they left without him, so that leaves him back on that island. So
Wait, I'm sorry. You said we see that he drowned. No one said for a fact that he's drowned, though, right? Nobody.
Well, I mean, if he ended up in the water somehow, if he washed up on shore, that means that he had to be in the water at some point to
If
die.
it was any of his fault, they would not have protected themselves prior to any of this story being presented to the public. They took a stance of self-protection as
Right.
opposed to projecting Nolan being of his own fault. The very first thing that we see of them, the people who was there, those who are interlocked within the system at higher classification levels, and also the state that seemed to be backing these up, right? Was a self-protection. It wasn't, hey, you shouldn't have been drinking like that, Nolan. That wasn't the stance that they took. They instantly took some type of measure to protect themselves. That in and of itself is suspect.
True. Just like them releasing the statement before any body was even recovered that there was no foul play. I agree with you there. I agree, like,
whether you agree with me or not, if there was if these were two other different social or racial demographics involved, it would still be a suspect.
That would still be suspect. Yes. Why are you guys lawyering up? Why the protection among, against yourselves? Why would the parents go to lawyer up with their 17, 18-year-old children whose faces are now out there, whose location is now out there? Why would we lawyer up?
Why would you lawyer up first?
To protect myself.
It's a bad move.
I mean, it's a bad move socially, to the public, the court of public opinion. But legally, I'm gonna call my lawyer, shut down my social media. Like, and then the mom, the judge mom, the mom who's a judge, she released a statement saying, I went to school with Nolan's mom. I love Nolan. This is unfortunate, but and I know how this may look to everybody, the court of public opinion.
But EJ,
but this is what I have to do. This is what I have to do to protect my own child.
But EJ, Miss Wansley is being threatened on a daily basis. They're trying to run her business. These parents are being attacked. Now, if my children were in this situation, I wouldn't lawyer up. You know why? There's nothing to hide. Truth is truth. Truth is able to withstand itself. No, I would not lawyer up at all. I'm being honest.
I feel you. I feel you, but is it wrong to lawyer up if the truth was still the truth and they did not do anything? Like,
No. Look, if you don't do anything, you don't even know what happened. First off, you don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened.
Let's say there's 1,000 people out there, and maybe 20 are involved with this situation, but only like 4 are known. All right, then nobody know what happened. Out of any of those people, first, that's already crazy, right? You reverse those racial dynamics. There's no way that you could have had any element of where there's no foul play being involved, no one being suspected of anything. One lone white person end up dead amongst a bevy of well-to-do black people. Get the fuck out of here, dog. So come on. That's already suspect right there. 2, you lawyer it up. If you're not guilty, first off, if you don't have nothing to do with it, you didn't even know that it happened. You're gonna be surprised when they come at you. Like what? Nolan is what? They took lawyers first. So I don't know what type of benefit of the doubt you trying to give these folks. Cause what's up?
But I also see that is the common thing that I keep seeing with us, our community. Y'all are caping for them. It's like my thing. It's like we have to assume, like, if this were the reverse, and like I said, if this were my child, I would lawyer up as well. I just would. I would take those protective measures just in case.
EJ, let me ask you.
Just in case. Because it's my child who's alive, and the other people's child ain't alive. They were the
innocent. There was no reason for you to pay for a lawyer.
I don't care. Listen, it's given like, okay, I get where y'all are coming from. If you ain't got nothing to hide, what you lawyering up for? I'm lawyering up for protective measures.
I'm letting it all out there.
Okay, that's great.
Walk my kid to the damn police station.
Which they said that they did. But they said that they did. The kids have been cooperative with the police. They have answered all the questions that they have. They even did an interview on Officer Tatum's No. They were on a YouTube show just recently, like maybe yesterday, where they were on Officer Tatum's show. They gave everything,
Oh, come on.
screenshots of them reaching. Look. They're showing evidence. They're showing evidence.
No,
We called Miss
but
Christine.
hold up. But wait a minute. The thing is, you keep saying that's the court of public opinion, as if the court of public opinion has no weight. That is where the black cultural metric is. It's not within whatever court you saying that's what we should wait on. It's how it looks to us, dog. They know how to make things look good for themselves.
But how the court of public opinion don't?
Wait a minute. Why don't they ever make it look good for us? Why is it always that it seems that there's a black slant to all the shit that they do, as opposed to doing the right thing? They do the white thing, the same as it was
because they are whites. Like I said earlier, this ain't Ray and Pookie.
So what does that mean? What does that mean to be white within the social power class that they're in? Then, because it's not just a racial thing; it's more than that.
Amen.
That's what I'm saying. I think we're saying the same. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. It's my panel, but I'm respectful to everybody. It's our panel at this time, right? Let's just be clear. I'll give you an example. Kendrick Johnson.
Facts.
13 years since he passed away. Found January 11th, 2013. Main suspects, witnesses silence. The suspects lawyered up. Brandon Bell and their FBI dad. Law enforcement hasn't been able to touch them in 13 years. First of all, everybody that gave a statement was discredited. Plenty of evidence out there to support that Kendrick Johnson was unalived. If my children, number one, were innocent, I'm not going to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on an attorney. Number two, I'm marching them down to the police station. They're going to tell their truth. Number three, if you're innocent, there is no need for an attorney to be involved. Period.
Okay.
Well,
like I said, I agree with where you are coming from. Both of y'all are coming from.
Okay.
At the same time, I feel like if it were my children, I would, especially because I'm black.
So you perceive them being of that character, but you perceive your children possibly being of that potential ill character that would kind of carry out.
That's the word. It's potential. You would have to prove that my child did it.
No.
Y'all keep saying potential and may.
No. What I'm asking you is
if my child did it, he going down.
They already got to be there. They already got to be there in character for you to desire to lawyer up and be like, you know what? I might need to be a little bit defensive of any accusation placed upon my child. You would let's say that you lawyer up, just for the sake of what I'm saying, CYA. You feel me? But not because you might have suspected that your child contains some of that ill character that will potentially carry out that act. Okay, you're talking about your child and your subjectivity. Whiteness is not a subjectivity here. It is a power dynamic, homie, and it exists as other than just a white person.
Okay, so my thing is, you're seeing it that way. I get you. I get you. You're saying like white people.
That's what the system is.
Right, you're saying this is how white people act, this is how white people are. I'm
white
saying
culture with black
white
people
culture, all of that. They're going to
dynamics.
lawyer up, they're going to do all this. Okay, now that they have, right, in this case, they were lawyered up first. Where's the surprise? Why y'all acting surprised? That's the world that we live in.
Who's surprised? Who you think?
That's what I'm saying. It's like y'all are saying, well, why they lawyered it up? It's like that's what they go to do.
No.
That's what they go to do.
No. The whole thing is suspect from the jump, and you trying to act like it ain't.
Oh no, I'm not acting like it ain't. I don't think that there is anything there. I don't think, like, if you say, okay, we live in a world where white people, they're gonna go and they're gonna get the police behind them and everything. It's like, well, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about white. So where's the shock? I'm not saying like they're right for doing so or that they're wrong for doing so. I'm saying where's the shock?
I'm gonna tell you the shock factor. Okay.
I'm like, if a thing is a thing and they always do this thing and then they did the thing.
Because we're tired of the fucking cover-up.
What cover-up?
What's going on right now?
And then for there to be a cover up, that you would have to prove motive.
You don't have to prove nothing. Yo, let me
You have to
ask
have evidence to prove
hold
motive.
up.
That's why
Where
the phone
okay,
didn't work.
No.
The phone conversation
it's
didn't
not
work.
about no evidence. Look, again, they can make it look real good for themselves, all right? Real good for themselves. All we're asking for is that which looks suspect.
Transparency.
Just get some transparency with it. Here you are on defense of white people, just like every old other ass coon ass nigga out here who when we're looking at the system. And it's like
that emotional response, that that you got going on. That's why we're in the situation that we in.
This is passion, all right. And one thing you need to understand
objective.
is that yes, it is. We can have our own cultural dynamic of weighing this, and not just be subjected to one that is clearly anti-black, where your black ass to defend when it's suspect from the jump. You don't think that we're ever going to check your kind,
bro? Okay, chill a little bit. How old are you, EJ? Just give me a range.
32.
I figured the newer generation,
unconnected.
Listen, that's lower than my generation. I'm 51. For some reason, you guys are blind to history. You know why? Because they don't teach it in school these days. They water it down. Listen, I understand the ignorance, not calling you ignorant, but the ignorance and the blindness to what you're seeing unfolding right before you, because they have watered it down. You were not taught what we were taught in our age group. You don't understand the history, and you don't know the history unless you've lived it. I myself was blind as well. Okay? So what I'm going to ask you to do is be more mindful of the older generations. Be more mindful of the ones who have lived it and experienced it. Because even
their blackness is merely non-whiteness. He's not black. He's non-white black. You got a lot of black people out here where y'all claim black, you know what I'm saying, in the classification, the default classification. But there's nothing to it, because it's merely just a color to them in the way that they believe white people defined it, or the power dynamics define it. They don't define their own blackness.
Back to the case and blackness, but back to the case and the facts. We're not going to debate like if I'm black or not. But
you are.
Of course I am. But you know, black people, as you know, we're not a monolith. We all don't think the same way. Yeah. I get where most of the black collective are going with this conversation.
Is anybody gonna let Auntie, the oldest on the panel, finish her statement? And what?
Excuse me.
Apologies.
Do I got to put my foot down?
We appreciate it.
In defense of the young black brother, what I'm trying to say is they have whitewashed history. He has not personally experienced racism. And for that, I empathize with them. And I also pray in Jesus' name, or Yeshua, whatever you call it.
Yeshua.
He never has to experience what we as older brothers and sisters have experienced, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to let EJ and then I'm going to let Rogue finish his statements. And guys, y'all got to meet us here tomorrow. Same time, same place, okay? Open panel again. EJ, I know you black. Yeshua. I get it. Listen, look.
Hey, I've been watching this in second grade. All right. I've been watching this in second grade. You got Bible? Black people and you got non-white people.
Do you see my Bible? I get it.
I see it. Yeah. The Ethiopian. Yeah, right. Exactly.
We're here.
I got you.
Okay. I come with Jesus in Yeshua. Right. I love it.
Okay. Okay. My question to you two is
I got one question for you.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Because I got to get him to establish how he see things. Right. I got to get him to establish this.
All right.
So this is a simple question, right? You're in America, right? You're in America. You have whatever your state bird. Do you know what your state bird is?
No. I'm from Arkansas. I don't know what it is.
Okay. Do you know what your state anything is? State flowers, state whatever. Anything that they taught you when you were a little kid?
Just like the natural state, the flower. No, I don't know. I don't remember. I ain't been in high school in 15 years.
A state dish. We're talking elementary though. We're talking things that they drilled into you when you was a young child that you were to know and receive as some form of a value within your come up. What do you recall that you learned that was of an average sense in your youth? Talking elementary.
About my state?
Yes.
Where I live?
Something that you was taught about being in Arkansanian or whatever they call y'all.
I can't remember actually. So I know I took history class and all that. I don't remember. I can't tell you. I just know I live in the natural state. That's all I know.
All right. So my thing is my state bird. I'm from Oklahoma, North Tulsa. Our state bird is the scissortail flycatcher. That's what they call it, right? Now I only learned it because they drilled it to you in school.
Right.
And so I paid attention to it and I watched it over the years and figured how, you know what I'm saying, the nature of it in like 4 or 5 years, right? At a young age, but being spurred on by the school and institution, right? You know what I'm saying? My country, Tanzania, all that stuff, right? All right. Well, the thing is, if I can only watch it for like 4 years or whatever, and then someone asks me about it, and I can give a pretty decent account of it. For something that we've been encountering with, you just now switch the subject. You're no longer looking at a bird. Now you're looking at social relations. You're looking at the past, present, potentially projecting on the future. You're looking at the social values. You're looking at histories. You're looking at intentions, right? If it can only take 5 years at the most for one of moderate mentality or intelligence to understand the entirety of something, what do you think a 40-year, 50-year, 60-year observation grants you? If you're given and you're educated at the same level which they say you're supposed to be educated so you can be a viable citizen and all that. But when you give that type of analysis into the system, people say no. And it's like, well, wait a minute. We've been looking at this for 40, 50 years. That is a very, and within the field, it shouldn't be something that you have to be taught. It's something that you live, right? Obviously, y'all of the later generations, y'all live in a whole different perspective of being in America for real. But what we see things that gives us something reminiscent of something that our parents say that they encounter.
Right.
You don't get that. You don't get that. So you don't charge y'all don't charge the system. You know what I'm saying? Y'all accept it. Y'all like, hey, you're blowing it out of proportion. And it's like, well, look, we can make our own cultural dynamic and metric of border of where something is supposed to lie. We're not owned by America or these pilgrims. We're supposed to be living as if we are our own integrity of a people, and none of that traumatic past or history happened, and we would still be under or not under an accord. We would still tear each other apart. So the whole thing is really our metric. Our cultural metric doesn't weigh more than the system to our own people, and the system shows that it's anti-black. It shows it reflexively that, you know what? Yeah, this does not weigh as much as this. And when you see what it is, it's them. It's their intentions. It's their sabotage. It's their cultural draining. It's their parasite, their parasitic style of rule and anti-blackness that they do. And then we got to listen to folks like you give it passes. You're young. You're supposed to be our future. And y'all tell us that we crazy, we blow it out of proportion. How are we living in these two different realities?
Okay, weird. So my thing was, I guess what I said earlier, like when Ben Crump was on the news, like the first news appearance that he did about this, and he mentioned the state of Mississippi, right, and the history that they have with, Black Americans and white Americans in the state. He mentioned Emmett Till, who passed around like in the 1950s, and I know the story about that, or I remember the story about that. Something about a white woman claimed that she raped him, or he raped her, or something like that, and then they lynched him and everything like that.
They said
whistled at her. Oh, okay.
Whistled at a white bitch.
But it was proven not to be true. I'm pretty sure that was Emmett Till's.
No, she just lied for 70 years and didn't say I'm sorry.
And didn't say.
Nah.
Okay, so he brought up Emmett Till.
Hold up. And these pilgrims go out there to shoot up his grave every fucking year. They got it. They got to get the headstone off.
I didn't know all.
Yeah.
Again, I remember
close.
learning about it, but we didn't go deep into it here in Arkansas. Arkansas is mostly, But okay, so Ben Crump, Pilgrim. So Ben Crump mentions that, right? About that state of Mississippi where they this all happened, and the lies. I guess he's trying to imply that white people are lying already.
Okay, yes, as they do.
And so
when it comes to things like that,
what they do culturally, but in this case,
you don't think they
who
lied?
has lied? Who lied?
One, they lied.
Warren lied.
They
several times.
When they had his phone and didn't give the account of what happened to him. And we are in the day and age where everybody got their phone, though. Everybody got one of these people trackers. And they are addicted to them. Everyone is.
Yeah, the kid, right. The kids all got their phone.
You got homie phone, but you don't know what happened to him. That's already suspect from the jump. Objectively suspect. That's just bring up no race factor, right? Let's leave race out of it. Are you? And then how many of y'all was out there? All right, then. And then
wait. If Nolan didn't have his phone, right? If the phone was left on, according to them, I'm just going off what they're saying. If the phone was left on the boat, they found the phone on the boat when they were getting off the boat, and then they put, like the boy said, he put it in Nolan's car, right? When they got back to the mainland or whatever.
Okay.
How could you know what was going on with Nolan? If you got his phone, you can't text him. So, how could you know?
How could you not know? How could you not know?
How could you not? If he don't have his phone to check in with him, the phone is with me. I got your phone, so I don't know what's happening to you.
He just and hold up. He just conveniently happened to not have his phone, being drunk, fell in the water, or whatever, right? Oh, like, come on.
No.
The first thing they do.
I'm going off again.
The first thing they do is lawyer up. Do you have any idea the type of online and actual social backlash that this would have if this was the inkwell and you had a reverse racial dynamic with this?
That's what I'm saying. It's like y'all keep saying it's Ray and Pookie. It's like I get where you're coming from. Y'all keep saying if this
it's not about Ray and Pookie. It's about power. Stop doing that. We're not talking.
That's what I'm saying to you. I'm saying white people lawyer up. That's what they do.
Well, it's not about the lawyering up. Listen,
it's about how it looks.
No, you already got white people that are coming out talking about, look, do not be anywhere with us if you are the only black person. Right now, check this out. If there's no white person that will ever be in that much danger just because they're white amongst a sea of black people. Hold up. Caveat, let alone so-called upper class black people. That's why I inserted the inkwell. We're not just talking about a white versus black thing. We're talking classification. The real white people, all right? Not no redneck peckables. We're talking those who consider themselves high society and blah 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 blah. Yeah, okay. And you really think there's a black equivalent, in Baldwin in Baldwin Hills? Can't no pilgrim.
Well, definitely not in Mississippi. Definitely not in Mississippi.
I'm saying, but that matters though.
Okay, class matters. I got you.
Yes.
Okay, but Nolan, it was said that he got off that boat. This is what they're saying.
It was said
that he got off the boat and that he went on another boat with somebody else. They pulled off allegedly. All right, I'm just going what the facts of what has been presented. I won't say facts. What has been presented from their side. They left him over there because he gave him permission. Nolan said, "No, I'm gonna hang back."
Why would he stay?
He had other friends out there. There was other people out there.
Why wouldn't the other people make sure he had a ride home?
See that's if you had y'all let me finish, I would have got to that. Now somebody out there knows. I'm just saying these three white boys that he came over there with that claimed that they moved on without him, and he left his phone in the thing on the boat. Because if you're in the water where some of these people were, you wouldn't have your phone. He left his phone on the boat. They pulled off. I'm pretty sure they both realized.
The phones are waterproof these days. The phones are waterproof.
Sure. I'll give you that. Sure, they're waterproof and all that.
Listen, they say he left his phone because he had to swim. That's what
Right, because they were out in the water where they dock the boats at.
He didn't
It's
have
like
to swim. He had a word in the water.
right. They go. It goes up to the waist. Right. I feel you. I feel you. Look, but they go.
Swim.
They were.
That's what.
Listen. Where they.
On the trip.
God's gonna trouble the water.
God's
gonna trouble the water.
He didn't have to swim. That's been the point.
So they get to the land, but we all know that he didn't have his phone. Right?
And that's us.
Oh, so they know that he. Hey, how y'all doing? They know he ain't have his phone. They get back to the mainland. He don't have his phone. I'm pretty sure Nolan at some point realized, dang, I ain't got my phone. So they're assuming that the boy's coming over there. Like, I mean,
laughing.
I'm sorry.
Who's laughing?
Somebody's laughing.
That's me. I apologize, bro. I got a joker laugh. I'm sorry. Yo, this is hilarious to hear you substantiate those very hollow claims that have been presented. Hollow claims. They're so hollow. Look, the fact that even I will lawyer up. No one innocent is going to lawyer up right off the bat. That means if you lawyer up, you know what happened. That's the whole issue. If you lawyer up, you know what happened, or you are connected to what happened. If you're not the cause, then you're connected to it.
Okay, so I assume that y'all stance is that the boys did something to him.
What are y'all talking about?
What you mean did something? No, my stance is they are the cause of his mortality. Somebody
doing
there.
What?
Don't know. We don't know. They won't fucking. That's all. What do you mean? They lied to
I mean, but if he
up.
washed up on shore, he had been in the water, right?
Wait a minute. They first said no signs of foul play. First and foremost, before they even did it. Before they did.
Okay, they said no foul play. Fine.
Wait. Before they did a deep enough investigation to.
Oh, you're right. And I acknowledged that earlier.
Wait a minute. I'm not done. You all right, dog? Voice change?
Yeah, am I coming through okay?
Yeah, we can hear you though. All right, so look, they declared that there was no foul play
before the body was even recovered. I said that earlier.
No.
Real quick, can I ask?
Will you let me? No, I'm gonna finish what I'm saying, because if we was in the physical, both of y'all would let me finish what I'm saying. You feel me? All right.
Okay.
And don't speak for me. What the fuck's wrong with you? All right. So for the 19th time, they declared that there was no foul play before the public taste could be soothed of saying, yo, what the F? The whole public's like, yo, what the F? Oh, no foul play. Wait a minute. They lawyered up first. Somebody suspects something. We don't know who it was, but at least we know somebody on that side already suspects something. That's why they lawyered up. It was just a bad look, dog. And it's like they're not giving a care how much of a bad look they're giving, and it's giving the vibes like it's 1926. Dun, dun, dun. It's giving those vibes.
Okay, so I implore you. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, since I came in late, what case are y'all talking about?
The Nolan Wells case.
You know what case we're talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. I implore you. Is Officer Tatum, officer?
Hold on a second. That dude that I just dropped down, he was about to troll. That's why he was dropped down. Listen, I don't take no shit on my platform. Y'all should know, Auntie don't take no shit. Don't come up here with the shit. Don't start no shit. It won't be me.
I like to try to have an education. Right. I'm with you. I'm just saying. So the white boys get on Officer Tatum. I implore y'all to please go watch it on YouTube. I know you're probably going to take it with a grain of salt. I will get on there. They have their evidence, what they assume is their timeline of events, right? Because there's one side, this side, and then the truth. From their perspective, I'm not defending anybody. I'm just saying.
I've watched it.
They are saying that they gave the phone back when they finally found the phone. His mom, or she said she sent out somebody to get the phone. They handed it over. No, foul play or no, like we're withholding it type of thing. But when they came for the phone, they handed it over. When the cops came, they answered all, went to the police station, all that. So they've been cooperative as far as an investigation is concerned. Now, the police coming out and saying there was no foul play before, his body was even found. That is suspect. I will say that. Them luring up.
It's not suspect. That is the marker that you pay attention to. The moment that, hold on, this is what it is, dog. It's very subtle. It's very subtle. What you do is pay attention to the amount of swift protection that white people get when they're accused of anti-blackness, or when the system is accused of anti-blackness. Pay attention to either the swift response of a protection or some form of admittance or some form of marginalization toward the black victim. The thing is, that's what we saw was the system respond for them. You're trying to protect the people. You're not understanding what we're doing is seeing the system. No different than out here. I'm in Dallas, you know what I'm saying? And when that Amber Geiger thing went down, and she actually broke in homie's house, and they said it was two people that had an account who lived over there, said that she was banging on the door saying, "Let me in." So it was something a whole lot more close than unclose that they tried to show her. But look at the way that they played it. They gave her 43 years or something like that. You know what I mean? The thing is, as a cop, she should have got at least 15 to 20 just from being out of pocket as a cop. No, her white girlness, or whatever the fuck a white girl is supposed to mean to the system out here, that played more of a weighing factor over the fact that she was a state appointed representative and carried out, you know what I'm saying, those tactics on homie. So that's what it is. It's no different from when you got pilgrims that don't want to hear about, what's that, CRT, and they like, I don't want my children to think that they're evil. No, it's like, well, no, you're looking at the intersectionality between race and laws. Okay, when it comes to race, we're going to embody that. It's just of who we are over here. When it comes to law, it's supposed to be looking at the system, but who speaks up on defense of themselves when we take a look at the system? White people do. We're talking about the system. You're here defending these pilgrims, and you ain't even understanding that. And people like you don't understand that.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Watch the video. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
And that back to what I was trying to say, that at first was the whole saying this and then saying something else. Ambiguity and mystery on our side. I can't speak for the white people's side because I can only speak for what they have said, and they just started saying this stuff on this YouTube show. So all I had was Nolan's side. You know what I mean? So I'm just speaking to that and what's been going on over here with this. My people. Why would your lawyer come out and say one thing and then you come out and say something else that kind of debunks what your lawyer has already said?
That's a fair question.
I don't know why y'all would take that stance if y'all are looking for answers and truth.
Because I'll tell you, and then we're going to end. And if you guys want to meet me tomorrow, that'd be awesome. I enjoy you guys here.
All right, let's fine. You gonna leave at 3? I know you've been on for a minute.
I've been on 3 hours, yeah.
Oh no, okay, I'm from the back side. Hey, thank y'all for the sharpening.
Contrary to what some believe,
yeah,
I got a job. I got to report to. I got an 8 to 5 that I got to go to in the morning, and I got a family. I'm married with children. I got to go cook dinner. Okay.
Much respect.
Okay.
So we're gonna end. I'm gonna say this to EJ because people make mistakes. Okay.
Okay.
Ben Crump may have heard things one way. That really wasn't what Christine Wansley said. But at the end of the day, what's important is what happened to Nolan Wells. What's important is, why did Nolan Wells go on a trip with all white friends, mostly white, on that boat, didn't come back home? Why did they leave him? They said he was drunk, impaired, and all that. Why did you leave him if he was drunk and impaired? Something our culture doesn't do. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
I'm not accusing no one of doing anything. I'm asking the same question. What happened to Nolan Wells? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
As far as Bart suing everybody, don't care.
Yo, for real.
That's for you. Because we clearly heard your name in that audio.
Yep.
And Officer Tatum, show me Bart's boat. Show me Bart's boat. Okay? And so you show me Bart's boat and prove to me that Nolan wasn't on that boat. The fact that I heard that Nolan don't die on that audio still stands. I want you, EJ, I love you. You're young. You're a kid. I can be your mom. I'm not mad at your different opinion. Okay? I want you to know.
All right.
Roby,
I appreciate that.
thank you so much for giving us that.
Already, respect.
Listen,
the thing is, my perspective have always been from a black lens. I'm from North Tulsa. White people ain't my metric for nothing. Ain't never been.
I'll tell you this about white people. There are some beautiful black and white people in this world. I'm not gonna lie. Look at my skin complexion. I'm black, according to America, but there is some white. I love all people, and let's not be oblivious to the fact that there are some beautiful white people in our nation. They exist, and they understand our pain, right?
Never one's in power. That's my issue. My issue, but that's the whole thing. We're looking at this as if we're all the same citizen and we all have the same social worth within the society, and we don't. The thing, when I say white, I'm talking about that white dynamic that can influence upon our reality.
I agree with you.
That's what I'm talking about. And when it happens, it's usually for the detriment. Again, I'm from Black Wall Street. I don't cut no peckerwood, no slack. I'm sorry. All the rest of y'all in the South do. On the West Coast, definitely. East Coast, definitely. Midwest, we don't play like that because they raw with us in the Midwest, right? They don't. It's either black and white, and they make it like that.
You're right.
I agree.
The Bible even speaks of wickedness in high places. That's exactly who you're speaking of.
Yeah. The way that they rule. It's just the way that they rule. If they rule differently and they rule righteously, we can rock. It's like, look, it's a bad look. If it wasn't Nolan Wells and it was Yakhmin or some Habib dude, it would still look just as suspect. Like, hey, yo, what are y'all trying to do to him? It don't matter if dude is black. The thing is, it's just a bad
or white,
look.
right?
Or white. It's like, look, if it's a bad look, it's a bad look. That's the whole thing. Right. And it just so happens when it's us, here comes the same remote evasiveness that we patternly become understanding to identify. And it's like, all right, then, you gonna tell me I'm crazy 40 years?
I agree with you, Rogich. And I want you to know that I appreciate you, and from the depths of my heart, I love you.
Love y'all.
I love you.
Love this conversation.
And if you don't know who I am Auntie Leah. I'm the internet auntie. All right. We will be back tomorrow to continue the conversation. We will forever speak justice for Nolan Wells, justice for Kendrick Johnson, justice for Daniel Irvin, justice for Tyler Smith, justice for Amal. On that note, guys, we gotta go. I'm with the anthem. Salute.
All right, bye-bye.
Y'all listen to the words because it is the truth game.
Same views.
Love you, nephew and nephew.
Bye-bye.
Come back tomorrow. Subscribe. Everybody in comments.
No matter where it led, we still going.
Hit the like button. Subscribe. Hit the notifications. Meet us tomorrow.
We been hurt, but we still don't break. Every lie getting heavy, feel the weight that it takes. Yeah, wait. No silence, no fear. We've been carrying pressure. carry that.
If it's dark, we bring it light. Now it's now, always never.
Everybody's in the
Right now.
Everybody hit the like button.
Together,
We've been standing through the pain in the rain.
do it all.
Every loss, every tear, yeah, we carry the names.
Say no matter where it lead, we still stand.
Still stand.
10 toes in the fire, it's the truth game.
Down.
We don't move off feelings, we move off facts. Paperwork, timelines, yo, we double check that. If it don't add up, then we questioning it. If it's hidden in the dark, we addressing it.
Bring it out.
They want silence, they want fear, they want control. They want narratives, push that we don't expose.
They lie.
But we build different, yeah, we cut from truth.
Real talk.
We don't water down proof just to make it sound smooth.
No way.
We ain't running from nothing but a lie. No. And when we do run, we running towards the truth.
Go time. Every step heavy, but we still don't fold. Because the truth worth more than gold.
Work who game.
We've been hurting, but we still don't break.
Don't break.
Every lie getting heavy to the way that it takes. That way, we want the truth. The truth, nothing but the truth.
They quiet when it matter, but we loud for 'em. Louder, candlelight tears. Yeah, we cry for 'em, still crying. They wanna check, try to sell the pain. Nah, but we want truth, we want real names.
Real names.
Ain't no healing if the truth is. Ain't no peace if they slide it. They politic trying to twist the story, but we 10 toes, yeah, we fight for it.
Stand on it.
We done seen cover-ups,
We done seen delay.
we done seen
Evidence get pushed away.
pushed out.
We done seen families cry with no answers.
Why the truth get buried under lies and distractions?
But we still here, and we still pushing forward. Even when it get heavy, we going harder. This bigger than views, bigger than fame.
Bigger.
This about justice, this about names. Say they name.
It's for every mama still crying.
Still crying.
For every name they keep hiding.
Say their names.
For every truth they deny.
They lie.
We still here, we still rising.
We rising.
True game, we been hurting, but we still don't break.
Don't break.
Don't break.
Don't break. Yeah.
Every lie getting heavy, feel the weight that it take.
That way. That way. Yeah.
No silence, no fear, we been carrying pressure.
Carry that.
If it's dark, we bring it light. Now it's now, or it's never.
Right now. Right now. True game, we been spinning through the pain and the rain.
Do it all.
Every loss, every tear, yeah, we carry the name.
Say they name.
No matter where it lead, we still stand.
10 toes in the fire, it's the truth game.
10 down.
We want the truth. The truth.
Love y'all.
But the truth.
See y'all tomorrow.
But it.
Peace and love. Thank you for stopping by. Peace and love.
Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for coming. Please like, share, and